Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it going on. I'm going to get muted very shortly. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Simply Deez, Tuesday the 2nd September already, 2025. I can chat, we can chat, but we are going to be chatting all the way through tonight. As always, some incredible guests. And the producer, the lady that's keeping me in check, telling me what not to do, muting me when I've got such a brilliant voice. Shelley Titmus in the house. Where is she? Jeannie. She gonna look. See that? I don't know how she didn't mute me when I was singing. And actually, I did post. Remember, the show's called Real Talk, and I know you guys are thinking that me and Shelley have done a little whatever and we've rehearsed. You'll be able to tell that we haven't. You'll be able to tell we haven't rehearsed. We haven't had a conversation. She don't even probably know who's coming on. That's how we roll. I posted this afternoon because I saw it's the last event at the bandstand on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's at Waldown Park in Luton. And I think it's something like 2 till 6. And gospel choir. Now, if they did check the post, Shell, I like to give the producer something to do instead of just sitting there doing nothing during the show. So she'll find it, because in it says, if you would like, listen to this, guys, if you would like to be part of the choir, you can. I think the rehearsal. You pulling faces? The rehearsals, I'm not even lying, guys. The rehearsals are tomorrow, and I think it's somewhere in Hightown. Shell, if you don't mind, because she's thinking, like, I don't want to show energy. I'm sure it's tomorrow. So gospel choir, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I don't know if it's a one-off or what have you, but let's see.
Yeah, give it a go.
Bailey CCD might be doing it. Eh?
Yeah, give it a go.
You get signed up. Somebody that thinks your talents are just limited. Let me show you my T-shirt. You probably can't see it. I don't know. Can you read it? I don't know.
Oh, hang on. Let me try and see if I can.
Is it back to front? Probably, isn't it?
No. I was going to
screenshot it.
Oh, not me. Oh, not you either. Doesn't want to
do that.
You
haven't rehearsed.
I was
you lot thought I was joking.
And it didn't want to do it. Oh, there you go.
I need to put my arm down, don't I? Can you read it? Nothing stands between a girl and her dreams. I thought, just a reminder, guys, just a reminder. There's always an excuse not to do something. I can't because of this, and I can't because of that, and I can't, and I can't, and I can't. I've been given an opportunity to do something. And what do we always say? And what do I always say? There's no point me saying it and then, oh, well. So these two hands and the 2 feet that you can't see right now, I'm going to grab it. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm going to grab it. More details to follow. So for those... I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This is a professional show. For those that are watching, for those, shut up. For those that are booked for next month, for those that are even coming on tonight that may potentially be watching, when they start messaging me something's come up.
No,
Do you know what I mean? You know, the dog's got sick, but you ain't got a dog. The kids aren't well, but you, the kids are grown and left home. This may be the reason why, Sean. Maybe the reason why. So we are going to have a, because now that I'm a postie as in post woman, we are going to have a 1 minute where I'm going to tell you one of my little escapades this past month. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Don't forget to share, please. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and who knows where else. We are global. So this is a big, is Claire in the wings?
No.
Oh, she's not. Okay, cool. That's cool. So before we go to Claire, because she will be joining us shortly, Shell.
Yes.
What's the show called?
Real Talk.
When I looked, did you see what I put up my profile pic? Did you see my profile pic? It's a picture of me and Aaron Fontaine. And there's somebody walking away, as always, in the background. Do you know what? It don't matter what photo I take, somebody always seems to get themselves in the picture, whether it be the front facing or back facing. They always manage. Very clever. I don't know how they do it, but they always get in the picture. Absolutely brilliant. And that was I believe that was 2018. I think it was 2018.
Oh, yeah, it might have been, yeah.
2018. And I'm like, wowzer. So working on that in the background, guys. International Men's, more information to follow. So Shell, whilst we wait for the lovely Claire.
I'll just say hi, Kerry.
Kerry Sullivan.
Yes. Yes, she is.
Yo, Miss Sullivan.
And I just put the link in for the bandstand bit that Dee was on about earlier on. So that's in there, in our comments. Could you, if you don't mind, actually... Huh? So Claire's here now. Or do you want me to open it up on the screen?
You can open it, only because people kind of later on, but if at some stage, if you do that now, but if you could sort of like do the post for the actual event and then actually do the post as in like, if anybody wants to be part of the choir. Kerry, what you doing tomorrow, love? Me and you. Let's get it on.
I'm putting it back on our page. It's back on our page, so it sits at the top. Because it was the two posts together that got put on there.
Excellent. Kerry, do us a favour, darling. Can you put in the chat, or Shay might even, you have got a Macmillan event late September. Put the details in the chat, darling, and if you've got a flyer, that's what it's about, sharing, and appreciate you joining us once again. So, Shell, we're going to have continue our conversation a bit later on, but let's bring on that very first guest of ours. I don't even know when last I clapped eyes on this beaut. OMG, the G. Is that you, Coppleston? Is that you?
How are you? It is. It's been way too long.
So for the masses out there, because there are masses, when we're near on, Shelley's just messaged me before the show, sort of like sort of saying we're near on the 1 million marker, Claire, viewers.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Now
that's
it's 999,999, and guess what? You are the one who's going to push us over the 1 million marker.
Oh, well, there you go. My job is done here.
No, we're not there yet. That's your job, to get us over that hurdle.
Oh, so, that's wonderful. That's amazing.
That's
congratulations.
That's not true. Oh, bless her cotton socks. You'd be lucky if we get 100, love. You'd be lucky if we get 100 million.
Don't worry, we've got this tonight. We've got this, Dee. Don't worry.
Exactly. So before I kind of get into anything with you, Claire, I need the masses to know that we have known, oh my gosh, I don't even know how long. It's got to be over 10 years.
Oh my God, way longer than that. It's probably 15, 20? Easy.
Are you listening, guys? Now, this show started the 1st of May 2018. We are now 2025. Guess what? This young lady, one of my guests on my very, 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 very first show in the Pamtengo studio. Do you remember?
Yeah. I was. And the first at your events.
Yeah.
Like, definitely showing up for the support always.
Definitely. So, Claire Coppleston, there's so much. And you know what? We're not going to rush it. It just can't. This needs to be marinated, absorbed, digested by our audience. Why are you laughing?
I love it.
So
I need so much.
Ditto, likewise. So it's so important, and even for myself, as much as we've known each other so long, there's so much I don't even know about this young lady. So Claire, it's really important for me, and you're going to be talking about so much for the guys out there. Sorry.
As always, I never stop talking, do I?
Absolutely fine. But it is so important to get the foundation. When I say the foundation, we got to peel back some layers. Because, you know, people will see and read and it'd be like, oh, Claire's doing this, doing that, and she's this, she's that, she's the other. You've got no idea. You've got no idea.
We're going to dig so deep.
It's important, so that I just want to lay a foundation, and then when we get into stuff, people hopefully will start connecting and okay. You didn't just land with all the stuff. You've worked bloody hard.
Yeah.
But there's so much. So I want to peel it back to when you were a little bambino. That's how far I want to peel it back.
Okay. Okay. How long have we got?
You got half. Do you know what I mean? We got time. We ain't rushing.
Okay.
We got time.
Okay. So yes, I was born in London, and I spent like some of my childhood growing up in London around Finsbury Park, Manor House, kind of North London area. And yeah, then, you know, with my parents, we moved to Luton, and kind of we've remained in Luton and Bedfordshire, you know, forever since. So yeah, it's been a journey. I'm a mother of 3, so I've got 2 boys and a girl. They're all grown, they're adults now. So I'm a mum to adult.
I'm going to help you, because you've kind of like missed out all of this. You've missed out massive gap. Baby, London, and then I've got grown children.
Yeah.
So in between that, you are one of how many kids?
Just me and my brother. And yeah, so we grew up, you know, originally from Marsh Farm area in Luton, and kind of Lucy Farm, and, you know, predominantly around Luton area. And yeah, so I've kind of developed a lot of what I do now through hard work. So, like, when I left school, I left with no GCSEs.
Did you enjoy school?
It was all right. I mean, I wouldn't say I loved it, but it was okay. I did like writing. Yeah, I liked English.
Did you say sorry? Because I think there's a delay.
Yeah, I liked writing, and I liked history. So school was okay, but it wasn't my priority. I was always away with the fairies, thinking about, you know, what could I do? And I was always quite creative. I was quite a creative person. So I left school with no GCSEs, not because I sat them and failed them. I actually didn't get the opportunity to sit and actually do my GCSEs, because at the time I was really, really poorly, and I spent that year that I should have been doing my GCSEs, and actually I was in Great Ormond Street for a year because I actually lost the use of my legs, so I couldn't walk.
Sorry,
and
you're talking too fast, Claire. You're talking too fast, and as I'm kind of digesting what you're saying, you missed your last year of school because you were in Great Ormond.
Yeah. So I was in Great Ormond Street for nearly a year, couldn't walk, lost the use of my legs, had to go into a hydrotherapy pool, and had to like rebuild my strength and my legs, and had to learn to walk again. So yeah,
So can
I didn't
I
get to
ask
sit
why?
my GCSEs.
Can I ask why? I mean, what was that?
Yeah, sure. So I caught like what it was explained to me as like an airborne virus, but it developed into like sepsis, and it attacked like some of my organs and my muscles, and I just couldn't feel my legs anymore, and I suffered with really like bad back pain, and I just lost the feeling. So yeah, they told my parents I had pretty much 4-5 days to live. So that's quite a shocking thing to say
No
to a
way.
parent. Yeah. And you know, my mum was like, no, we can't have that. So my mum got me transferred to Great Ormond Street, and luckily they worked really hard, and yeah, so it was a lot of hard work, but I'm a fighter, so I didn't let that
Just
keep
a bit,
me back. And yeah, I bounced back. You know, I got, you know, my strength back eventually. I got walking again. Wasn't easy, but I was determined. And yeah, so I went on from there, and I was determined to create a career. Always wanted to be. I was very career minded. So I really wanted a career. I wanted to work for what I wanted. Wasn't really sure at that age. Who is at that age realistically? And so I started to do hairdressing, and I used to go to evening classes at college, and I qualified as a hairdresser and beautician and tanning, and I launched my first salon at the age of 23. So I had a business. And I actually had my son at that point as well, and I'd got married. So I was married, I'd had a child, I was going to have my second son. But that wasn't enough. I wanted to work even harder.
Wow.
So I continued with my education, and I did lots of various courses, and I developed my business, and I developed a massive skill set and people skills, and I worked so hard. And then I decided to sell the salon because I was going to have my daughter, and trying to juggle a salon, you're pretty much
child number
married
3.
to it. Child number 3. I only have 3 children. So,
I thought I was going to run out of fingers.
3 children's enough, Dee. So, for me anyway. And so basically I sold the salon because I thought, do you know what? It's hard because when you've got a business, a static business, you're glued to it. You're there all the time. And I needed to be a bit more flexible. And so, yeah, I decided to go into more kind of the fashion and wedding fairs and fashion shows and things like that. So I did. And that gave me the flexibility to be a working mum and work around my children and things like that, because we've got to do what we've got to do, right? But I didn't stop there. So I continued with my education and doing lots of courses, and it was a natural progression, because when you become a hairdresser, you know, you get to know your clients and they come in and you build that rapport, and you develop very, very good listening skills. And naturally they tell you about what's going on in their day-to-day living, you know, they're problem sharing and they're confiding in you. So you develop a little bit of kind of like talking therapies, that kind of skill set. So I quite liked it. So I thought, I think I could do this. So I did.
Wow.
So I then went off and studied more and studied hard, alongside still working and still being a mum. And I then went and got a degree and diplomas, and now I also have 109 qualifications, a degree, diplomas,
How many?
109 qualifications. So bearing in mind, I came out of school with nothing. I have not stopped studying. Even today, I mean, I'm on a course this week. I don't stop, because knowledge is power. It helps us to learn and grow as an individual, and I just love learning. So I've got lots and lots of qualifications, you know, and I've used those skill sets to shape and steer my career. And it's about looking at opportunities and taking opportunities as they arise, even if it's not 100% what you want to do. What can I learn from that experience? What can I give in that situation, and where is that going to lead to? So I've been very, very fortunate in the sense that I've had some amazing opportunities, and you know, I've grown as an individual, both personally and professionally. And so yeah, I qualified as a cognitive behavioral therapist, an EFT therapist, and life coach. And then I went into working in mental health and dementia care, which I have done for 25 years now. So yeah, very extensive history. You know, a qualified emergency responder. So
Sorry.
yeah, I've done lots.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Because as you say that just, because I remember Grenfell.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so
I'm sure many people out there.
was
Do you want to just
assigned to do a lot of the kind of mental health and bereavement support for 2 years down there. That direct intervention work, yes, which was you know, just a life-changing experience. Yeah,
you were
definitely.
there, like, I mean, it happened, and then you were there, like, how many days after? Was it the following day?
I think it was like the third day I was there. Yeah, the third day, and like that was such a life-changing experience for me. I used to do like 12-hour night shifts, come home, you know, on the train at 5 a.m, get washed and changed, do the school run after a 12-hour shift in London, and do the school run, come back, get a couple of hours sleep, get up, do talking therapies in Bedfordshire, and deliver mental health like groups and services. And then I'd get 2 more hours sleep, and then I'd go back and do it all again. And I did that for 2 years until I was worn out. But yeah, it's you know, it was just a life-changing experience, and I've never experienced or witnessed a community so strong. Like the way the community pulled together during that time was just, you know, it was so overwhelming. It was just the most kind of overwhelming feeling. It was just one of those moments that change your life forever.
Remember when you were telling me, and I think, I can't remember if you were like sharing posts and stuff of sort of like, obviously you and
Roberta.
That's it, Roberta, sort of like going down there and just
yeah, just doing everything that we possibly could. We was, you know, working with children and families that were kind of bereaved, and working through a lot of trauma and things like that. So yeah, it wasn't something we really talked about at the time. You know, you don't talk about it. It was just one of those moments that you're kind of immersed in, and you just focused on doing everything you possibly can to support and help and guide, you know, individuals as best as you possibly can, and just to help people through their trauma and pain, and, you know, navigating a new way of life as well is so, you know, so different. So yeah, it was definitely a life-changing moment for sure.
And how sort of like, because obviously when you're in it and you're focused on the families there and the people that you're helping, but when you sort of like come away from it, how were you? As in, like,
Yeah, I mean, it was devastating. You know, I would often cry on the train coming home, you know, letting it all out. And, you know, and I mean, obviously the kind of work that I do, you do have like clinical supervision and things like that for yourself. But yeah, it's it was tough. It was really tough. And I think, you know, it taught me a lot about myself as well. You know, I always reflect a lot on, you know, what did I do good? What could I do better? You know, what can I give a little bit more of? Every day I used to reflect. And, you know, I'm one of those people, I like to give my all. If I'm going to do something, I give my all. And, you know, I made some, you know, just the most amazing relationships that I still speak to many of, you know, the people that I made those relationships down there, within the area, you know, people that I was supporting, colleagues, various community services, because there was so many, and just members of the community, absolute angels on earth, incredible. You know, you just think, God, isn't humanity amazing sometimes? And I think we lose sight of that very, very often, if not daily, because, you know, when you listen to the news and things like that, there's a lot of negativity that, you know, is out there. And but actually there's so much good as well. And I think sometimes we can lose sight of that.
But we don't hear those bits, do we? Because that doesn't really, it's not got the same as something that's not so great.
Yes,
that will grab people's attention, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, it just makes you proud when you see the kind of people you're surrounded by, in the sense that everyone pulls together, you know, you're united. The acts of kindness was relentless, it was endless, it was breathtaking. You know, you're just blown away. You're just blown away, and you just think, wow. So, you know, you just meet the most amazing, incredible people, and I feel so blessed that I was able to experience and witness those things. So yeah.
This lady, I forgot to say, because this is what I normally do at the beginning of the show, is to make sure that they, as in the viewers, put on their seatbelts and buckle up, because the whole show is like this. It's 1 minute you're laughing, you're thinking, oh, this is so funny, and then the next minute it's like, shit, it's gone serious now, and then the next minute it's like, it's just a roller coaster. It's real talk. Do you know what I mean? The show's called Real Talk.
Real. Yeah. Now, it's authentic, it's fresh, it's raw, it's real.
It certainly is. Now, if I remember rightly, because I did receive an award.
Oh, of course you did, and quite rightly
so. But it was from this young lady here who was Mayor of Houghton Regis, is that right?
I was the Mayor of Houghton Regis, yeah, former Mayor of Houghton Regis.
How, hang on, you're doing, it was meaningful education, you're doing this,
so
you're doing so many different things.
Yeah.
how does it go from all of that sort of stuff to actually, I don't know, how does that opportunity present itself, or what kind of was in your mind? Because the way you're talking is like you plan, you know what you want and you go for it and get it.
Well, I don't always have my ducks in a row, but sometimes I'm trying to get them all together. But I think a lot of it is my passion and drive to help others. That's what motivates me. And so I was based in Houghton Regis. I was doing lots and lots of different community services around mental health, well-being, carers groups, dementia like activity groups.
Oh, and you were a counsellor, weren't you?
Yes, because you have to become a counsellor. But before I got to that point, I had put into place a lot of services in Houghton Regis that they'd never had before. And I put the first hate crime centre into Houghton Regis, the first mental health peer support groups. I was doing lots and lots of work. I was doing lots of support for veterans. So there was lots of things that I was doing across the community. And, I kept getting asked by people like, why don't you go on the council? And you could do loads because you're already doing so much for the community. And I'd never considered it before. It didn't even cross my mind. And, it kept cropping up, and I started having conversations, and I thought, well, if I'm doing all of this kind of independently it was me and Roberta, if we're doing all of this, maybe I can do more if I'm on the council as well. Maybe I could help to be that advocate and that voice for the community that, I'm already very immersed in the community, not just in Houghton Regis and Dunstable, but across the whole county of Bedfordshire. So I was did for election, and I got in, and again, what an experience. And I'm not really a political person. I'm a people's person. I want to know what the issues are. I want to know how I can help you. What changes do you want to see? What do we need in the community? I'm all about community cohesion and bringing people together as well. So, I started on, the council. I started to learn, because it can be quite overwhelming. You've got to learn quite quickly on your feet. So I used, my first kind of 2 years, I fully threw myself into it and, learn about it and everything. And and then I got asked if I would be the mayor, and I was like, oh my God, what an honour. What an honour. So of course I said yes, because,
Did you think about it, or did you just say yes? And then afterwards think, yes. Shit. I say yes and then think about it afterwards.
Because I'm always like, yep. And then I think I'm so tired and I wonder why. So I did say yes. And it's quite a funny story. This is a true story. So I got a call and they said, oh, there's been a meeting. Would you like to be mayor? And I was actually in hospital because I just had an emergency operation. And I was like, oh, yeah, fine. No one knew I was in hospital. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And they was like, can you come on Friday for photos and things? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I need to get out of hospital. I was like, got to get out of here. So I did. And I had the pictures done of me in all of the regalia, all of the robes and everything.
Oh, I remember you telling me you couldn't really kind of, because obviously you were in...
I couldn't really stand upright because I still had all my dresses and stitches. So that's dedication for you, isn't it?
Madness.
Yeah, it was. That's dedication. So and then so I kind of got a bit of a nickname everywhere I went. It was Mayor Claire, and it still sticks. Sometimes I go places and oh my God, it's Mayor Claire, and I'm like, hi. And it was just the most amazing year. that for me is probably one of the highlights of my life, because I got to meet so many incredible people during that year. I was raising money for the firefighters charity, because I'd worked extensively with firefighters as well, going back with the whole Grenfell and you know, other firefighters across Bedfordshire, and seeing the incredible work that they do. So the firefighters charity, and then also I was raising money for veterans as well. So because I'd done lots of work around supporting veterans and their families across Bedfordshire, and so I was really proud that I could just make that little change and that contribution.
Let me stop you for just one moment. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. I witnessed, and there's no fakeness here, people, let me tell you, I have never known anyone be a mayor and somehow pack in the amount of events, activities, fundraising that you did. And I'm thinking, like, she must have been a mayor for like two plus years. But no, so much.
Yeah, I did do a lot because I was driven. I wanted to really just make the most of that year and reach as many people as I could. And what I did was a little bit out of the norm as well, I suppose, if on reflection. You know, you kind of, you know, you'll go to various mayoral events and support like mayors that are very local to you. So, you know, if you're in Houghton Regis, Dunstable, Leighton Buzzard, you know, those that are closest to you. No, I wanted to go county-wide. I wanted to go and see all of the mayors. And do you know what? What an incredible experience, because I would go to all of their events and then they would all come into mine, and we just got this amazing connection, because you know, you're all in the same situation and you're all trying to support your communities. And yeah, it was just something that wasn't 100% done before. And so obviously, you know, you're getting a bit of a following because you'd have all of the mayors coming and you know, and vice versa to theirs. And it was that community cohesion county-wide that, you know, I wanted to create. And you know, and what a wonderful experience. And I still adore every single person that was like mayor, and I still stay in contact with them all. And yeah, friends for life.
I'm kind, you see, I'm sitting down, everybody. I'm not sitting down just for fun. I'm sitting down for a bloody reason. I'm exhausted. And it's not even me. I'm just listening. So I cannot imagine.
Oh, it's but like I said, my motivation is always, you know, making sure that I can help people. And it's what drives me. I'm one of those people that I could stand in a queue, not move my lips, but I can guarantee you I'll have 2 or 3 people just start talking to me, and 2 hours later I know their whole life history. I'm just one of those people.
Yeah, Mayor Claire, Mayor. I remember. It was like, it was a movement. Let me tell you, it was.
It really was. It really was an incredible movement, and you know, I feel so proud and so honoured to have that opportunity. Like, it's not something that you take on lightly, and you know, it's just such an honour, and yeah, one of the highlights of my life for sure.
Okay, so you talked about highlights. There's got to be some. I know you do the hair thing, so as well as highlights, there's got to be lowlights as well, right? So what were the lowlights? Any lowlights of being a mayor that you can share?
Lows. I don't think so. I look back with such fond memories, and it literally burst my heart with joy thinking about that year and that experience.
You did look like you were gonna burst when I saw you.
I just loved it.
You just oozed it, and I think because of how you were, that's why that movement was just
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember going to an event and, you know, I'm a really down to earth person. And I remember a lady said to me, she was making cups of tea for people at this event. And I said, would you like a hand? I mean, I did have the robes on and everything at the time. And she was like, oh, no, you can't do that. You're the mayor. I said, I'm Claire. Let me help you. I said, to tell you what, take a seat. Let me make you a cup of tea because you've been on your feet for the last hour. So she was like, oh, no. I said, no, please, I insist. I made her a cup of tea, gave her a bit of cake. And I was like, I want to know about you. What's your name? Tell me a little bit about you. She couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm just a normal person. Let's have a cuppa and let's have a chat.
But that's not what we're used to.
No.
And I think Shelley's put that.
Not.
Yeah, what you're used to. So it was, you know, breath of fresh air isn't even how I would describe you. You were, it was a movement, and you're such a force. I know she's sitting down, everybody, but let me tell you something now. Even when she stands up, she ain't much taller. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, that is true. I mean, I'm 4 foot nothing, so yeah.
Get up, Claire. I am Dee. I am. Oh right. I'm sorry. She's used to it, guys. Don't worry.
I am.
Don't
I've had it my whole life.
But just from that's why it was important for me to sort of like hear, you know, obviously we didn't go into too much detail, but just to hear some of your background, and obviously for you to sort of like, I wasn't aware you were in hospital for such a long period of time. Wasn't aware that you had no qualifications. So the fact that you were coming on and the fact that we're talking about this, somehow, Shelley will tell you, somehow my guests, and it's not kind of planned that I'm going to have this person, and it's somehow everybody that speaks, somehow there's a link, not an intentional link, but there is a link. And I wanted to, because obviously the young people are gone back to school now. Obviously some going back, and obviously in that GCSE sort of like going along that route.
Yeah.
And, you know, parents, teachers are, come on.
Yes.
And I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's not everything, is it?
No. And that's something that I have worked, you know, out in the community. I've worked with lots of young people. You know, I've done lots of work around, you know, knife crime and, you know, young people's behaviours and things like that. And, you know, it can feel at kind of the age when you're going to do your GCSEs and things, it can feel like the end of the world, because you think, well, great, I've got no GCSEs, I'm not going to be able to get a job or the career that I want. But you absolutely can. You just need to work and don't stop until you get it. Like I said, I came out of school with no GCSEs. I could have, you know, not gone on the path that I have. But it's what's really important is being authentic and doing what brings you fulfillment. And it's about the journey that you take, and it's about learning every step of the way. So you, just because you don't get your GCSEs, I mean, it does save a lot of time getting your GCSEs. Because,
so bearing in mind, guys, bearing in mind this this young lady, because it was a little while ago, you know, we're not talking like going college now and you know, or sixth form and you don't leave till you're 18. This is leaving at the age of what, 16? 15, 16?
Yeah, absolutely.
And out into that massive world of, it's a lot.
And, you know, even now when I speak to young people, you know, the mindset that they have on the job opportunities or the career choices, it's so limited sometimes, and there's so much out there. But unless we know, or, you know, experience and open your mindset to, you know, understanding the vast array of careers out there, how would we know about those choices?
You wouldn't.
Knowledge is power.
No.
So it's about, you know, just understanding who you are. And you're so young at that point that, you know, you're still growing and developing as a person, and we evolve as individuals. You know, what we liked when we were like a teen, we might have grown out of by our mid-20s. By the
Yep.
you know 30s, we've, you know, changed again, and so forth.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's about just thinking about what's right for you at that time and try it, as long as it's positive and legal and healthy. But it's about making choices and, you know, looking at opportunities where you possibly can. It's not easy, you know, trying to get those opportunities when you're young always, but you know, if you're determined, you'll get there. I did, and I know many others that have. So if you want something, you'll continue to work for it. Sometimes it might be a shorter path, sometimes it might be a longer path. It doesn't matter what your end goal is, as long as you're taking those steps each time to get to that end goal. That's progress.
So Claire, because you've worked with young people, and at the top, before we came on air, I said to Shelley that I wanted to very briefly just mention condolences to the family of the young boy who passed away.
Yes.
I think it was it Sunday? I don't know, all the days merged into one. I think it was
Yeah.
Sunday. And that's something that I know sort of like from yourself and myself, just the world that we're currently in. It's just hard navigating as a young person, navigating as a parent or a carer. And what you're saying now is, as in, like, you know, they need that determination, which is all great and good advice, but it's not easy. And
It's not.
sometimes they don't know where to turn to or
No.
where to go to. So if you may not, for whatever reason, I don't know, the connection at school isn't what it perhaps needs to be for you. So I'm not blaming the schools, I'm not blaming, but I'm saying for
No.
you as an individual. So maybe, do you know what I mean, where the stuff's going on at home and that connection's not there, any advice of how a young person can navigate when they're stuck or they feel stuck?
One of the things, I think it's about understanding what your resources are. We're very fortunate in Bedfordshire. There is so many services, incredible services available. But like I said, knowledge is power. If you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know about those services, you're going to feel like it's a needle in a haystack.
Correct.
So it's about understanding what's available to you locally, region, like look at your region and think about, what is it I need? Or you might not even know what you need.
Correct.
So it's, you know, it's about just taking some time to reflect and think about, okay, so let me take it here. One of the things I always say to children and, well, young people predominantly, and adults, surround yourself with those that have a positive influence, and you feel safe and secure, and they have good sound advice. We all need mentors, and I don't mean one mentor. I mean surround yourself with those that you need for different situations. So if I'm feeling quite low and I'm not feeling quite myself, I'm feeling a little bit of a low mood, who's that one person that I can go to who knows me, who's going to be that person that knows how to pick me up, who's going to make me feel better about myself, who's going to be that listening ear? That's one person. It's about creating that circle of support and knowing the right person to go to at the right time. If you need somebody who's going to give you stern advice, sometimes we need that. We might not always like what we hear, but it might be what we need to hear.
Yeah.
Who is that one person? Who has the words of wisdom? put that person in your circle of support and map it out. Because sometimes when we are in those moments, our mindset can get cloudy and we can't always
even as
see
an adult, let's be fair.
Exactly. And I do this with adults and young people too. So it's about create a circle of support. Who's who in your circle of support? And I have carried that example with me for many, many years. I am so fortunate that I've met the most incredible people and I've connected with them on such a level. You know, I've got people that I would go to and I could listen to them for hours and hours on end. Their wisdom is incredible and I look up to them. I learn from them. I might not always like what I hear, but sometimes those are the life-changing moments because actually I need to hear that. I've got, you know, somebody that I go to and I just know if I'm really having a bad day, I know I'm going to come out there with, you know, absolute bellyache and my face is going to hurt because this person is going to make me laugh hysterically. So I'm going to come out with an absolute overdose of endorphins and feel great about myself. So one of the things is surround yourself with, you know, a circle of support, knowing who's who in that circle of support and who to go to for different things. Career advice, it could be emotional support, it could be somebody that's going to make you, you know, someone you can just have some fun with. But those people that are there for you, those people that are always there for you, it's a safe space and those are people that you have a connection with. And it may change over the years, you know, people might move and things like that, and that's okay. But just make sure you've got the right people that you're surrounded by that's going to bring out the best version of you. And I think, you know, with that guidance, it's always such a positive thing in helping you to navigate through life because you've got that like word of wisdom in your ear all the time.
Oh, you know you've got to come back, didn't you? You've got to come back.
A little golden nugget.
Before I can't let you go because do you know what? As a lead author to another author, books. That's all I'm hearing at the minute now. Books. So let us know what you're up to or what you've been doing book-wise.
So I'm so excited about this one, Dee. So I've just launched my first children's book. And this is my fourth book that I've written. So all the others are around kind of, you know, global. One of them is about global women in business and, you know, talking about the things that we've discussed today is in that book. And then I've got another one that's around, you know, mental health and the environments around us and how that impacts on how we think and feel and so forth on that book. And then I've got the Activity Gurus book, which that is probably one of it's my favorite out of the three, I must say, because that's like my whole career in a book about dementia care and how to live a meaningful daily living, how to look after our own well-being whilst we're caring for somebody else. And there's lots of like activities and tips and it's a guide in there as well. So there's lots of information in that. And, you know, that actually reached #1 best-selling download. I was so pleased. However, I've had a bit of a switch recently. So I'm a grandmother. Shocking, I know. But my grandson is 2. He'll be 3 in October. And he is the best. Like, I'm called Nonna to him. And he is such a little Nonna's boy. And he was my inspiration. He loves books. And I just love the fact that he loves books. It's so good to read and have that creativity and just let their imaginations, you know, explore books and pictures and illustrations. And I love how, you know, inquisitive he is when he's looking at pictures and things. So, you know, it's just a joy, absolute joy. So I said at the beginning, I was born in North London and had my childhood there. And then I used to always go to Finsbury Park. and which was literally across the road. And I had lots of great fun at Finsbury Park. It's such a beautiful park, you know, it's so well kept. I had many fond memories there. And last year, and this is a true story, last year I went up to London to look after my nan because she was poorly, and I went out to get some shopping for her. And I decided to walk down and cut through Finsbury Park, go get some shopping, and I bought too much. And so I had to walk back with these bags. And you know, when you're in that situation, they're cutting into your fingers. So I had to keep stop starting. And I noticed I was getting stalked by these naughty squirrels. And they were so naughty. So every time I was stopping, these things were like literally launching at me and trying to get in my bags. I was like, no, off. So I was trying to like get away from these squirrels, which I thought, I'm not putting these bags down, but then it was killing my fingers. So every time I was stopping, like these things were charging for me. I was like, I just need to get home. And I thought, you know,
I've got
that
one
would make
more
a
minute,
really
Claire.
good book. What is that, sorry?
Sorry, one more minute. Sorry, 1 minute.
Yeah.
1 more minute left.
Okay, so I decided that would be a good book. And I've got a French bulldog called Maya, and the relationship that Luca and Maya have is just incredible. So, and we have lots of adventures together. So I thought, I'm going to write a book that I can dedicate to my grandson, that he can look at and think, that's about me, Maya, and my nonna. And it will also be something that other families can relate to, about that intergenerational bond and just spending quality time together. So yeah, so it's just released. It's on Amazon on paperback and Kindle. And it's also going on 250 book sites. So it will be available as of, I think it's the end of this week,
Wow.
across other bookstores. But for now, you can grab your copy on Amazon. You can also click the link on my Instagram page, which is author_Claire C, but there's no I in Claire. There's lots of writing tips and author advice on there, and lots of stuff about the book. So do give me a visit on there, and yeah, let's share that story together.
Where's that producer? Producer, get yourself on here for just 1 moment, please. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Claire never ever
I don't know
stopped.
what to say.
When it came up that you was doing another book, and it was like, oh, she goes in the nicest possible way. It goes.
No, I haven't. I've got another one ready to go.
Have you seen the cover? If you didn't, you're going like, that's Claire.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
that is Claire.
Yeah, it kind of is, but I have slimmed down because it's.
All right, I don't mean it quite like that, but
it looks like me, but it's an older version of me.
Yes,
if that makes sense. It's an older version, because if you put me, my daughter-in-law actually looks a bit like me. It's a bit weird, but it will look like he's with his mum, and I need it to be relatable to children with their grandparents. So I had to be a bit older, but that's fine. I'll take it.
Oh, bless you. You are absolutely incredible. My voice is going.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And honestly, I've loved catching up with you, and we need to do it again very, very soon.
We will be, darling.
Us three. Cuppa and a catch up.
Cuppa? Don't know about that, girl.
Well, I didn't want to say, but
oh, Claire, honestly, just some of the stuff that you've shared, I didn't know.
Oh,
so that's why I have to watch this back to then sort of like be, I didn't hear you say that, didn't hear you say that, didn't know that, didn't know that, didn't know that, and nuggets all the way. So thank you. We will catch up real soon.
Thank you.
And
yes.
Yeah, give my love to the young boy.
I will do. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, hon. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Have I got Olivia?
Yes, you have. Yes, she's been waiting patiently. Hang on.
Hiya.
What? No offense. Where's baby?
She's out with my mum.
She did say she would have her and she'd be looking after her. I thought
She's
just
got
in
her.
case she hadn't, I'd be like, having a
You
little
can't
Baby's
do
look.
fine, she
cuddles
can
through
be
the
here.
screen, Dee.
I can.
She would
I
take
know.
over if she was here with me.
I know where she lives. This is the beauty of being a postwoman.
It is.
Oh my gosh, young lady. Oh my gosh. Mwah. I don't even know what to say.
I know, it's just mental, isn't it?
This is how life is and how the world works. I can't even remember how long ago it was. I'm trying to think how old you were. Were you like 14, 15, maybe even possibly younger?
I was like probably 14. Little Miss is actually here. Mum's just overheard you say about, so she'll have an appearance.
Hello, darling. It's Auntie Dee.
Say hi.
Oh wow. See?
She's just staring intently.
Hello. Oh wow.
This is your first ever podcast. Look. Look at that.
Look at that. I'll tell you what, if our ratings ain't over 1 million, I want to know why, Shell.
Exactly.
See, it
Right.
just pushed us over that 1 million marker. Oh my,
Thanks,
I know
Mama.
it was a while ago.
It was a while ago, right? Thank you, babe.
And literally, I can't even remember how. I think I might have seen something I can't even remember what it was. And I was like, I need to have this young lady.
Yeah.
And I think it was, oh my gosh, was it this show? I'm sure it was. And I was chatting to your mum and you both were on. And right, before we get into anything, thank you so much for taking the time out for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. It means so much. Like, it's been how long? So thank you.
That's what I'm saying, exactly. And I've just said to Claire that was just on, I don't know if you heard any of that, but
yeah, I was listening,
Claire,
yeah.
my very first show in 2018, Claire, that's how far we go back. Claire was on that very first show that I did.
Wow.
And when we met, and it was a case of like not really sure what, and obviously Mum was there, and this is when I say about God's timing, Olivia. Everybody, Olivia Lynn is in the house. Whoop, whoop. She might let me sing a little something with her later on.
Yeah.
She may not. But as we were talking, we were just talking about young people, and obviously they're going back to school now, and that's how we kind of connected. Because
yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was.
And I don't know if you don't mind. It's really important, if it's okay, just to share sort of like some of the school stuff and how people can understand, because obviously time's gone on since then, and obviously social media is even worse. But obviously back then, just the situation that you were in, I'm talking about as in the bullying. And do you remember? Well, not do you remember, but that's a conversation we were having. And just people sometimes don't fully understand the ramifications of what they're doing and the impact people are like, oh, words don't hurt and ignore. It doesn't work like that. So if you don't mind,
no, of course.
Olivia, you're one of how many? We've got to lay a little bit of a foundation for the folk out there. You're one of how many? I know already, but the folks out there don't know.
I'm one of 4 children. So
you're one of 4. Where do you sit in that one of 4?
I am the second oldest, and I'm the first girl, but the second oldest. So I've got an older brother, and then a younger sister, and an even younger brother.
Yeah, I know that because I see you all. I see you
Nice.
all. So ticketing on with life, all the rest of it and that, and then what starts happening at what stage? Is it when you hit high school, or I don't know?
Yeah. So I loved primary school. I literally went through primary school and absolutely loved it. And I think in primary school, without sounding really cocky, I was quite a popular like child in primary school, and I loved all my teachers, and I loved school. I loved learning, and I just loved it. And then I had this stereotype for high school, and I don't know how about everyone else, but for me, I'm obviously I love my music, I love my drama and my dance and things like that. So when I think of high school, I think of, you know, all these movies and all these theatre productions and things like that. So I have this image of what I think high school was going to be like. I'm like, oh, it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm going to be friends with everybody. I'm going to like fly through my lessons. It's going to be so like aesthetic. And I basically thought it was going to be like a movie. And it most definitely was not. I literally rocked up, and within my first 2 days, I was already being called all the names under the sun. Um, I I think because I was different, but different as in I loved my music, I loved drama, and I actually really liked to learn. And sometimes people can find that intimidating when they've got a bit of a closed mindset. And I really enjoyed primary school, and I wanted so badly to enjoy my high school experience, and I just couldn't. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me. I had a lot of problems, not only with girls, but with boys, constantly being told, oh, he does it because he likes you. That is one thing I have to nip in the bud right now. I will not tolerate the saying boys will be boys. That's not a thing in this day and age. You do not accept someone's behavior because of their gender. You do not accept someone's behavior because you think they like you. That's not normal, I'm afraid. And so many people in school, like even the teachers, were telling me, oh, he does it because he likes you. And my mum was one that was like, that's not acceptable, I'm sorry, that's not an excuse for this kind of behavior. And then obviously I was also hearing with the girl side of things, they do it because they're jealous of you. And I'm sat here like, what are they jealous of? I don't understand. They pick on me because I like music. They pick on me because I like to do drama. They pick on me because I like to learn. I was student council. I was head of my year group. I was on like the debate. I was on all of that kind of thing. And I think people kind of found it a little bit intimidating that I enjoyed it so much. I ended up really turning into a bit of a recluse. Like I took myself away massively to the point I was eating my lunch in toilet cubicles, and I never thought that's where I'd ever be at life. I thought I'd be sat at a table with a big group of friends, and you know, and then next minute I'm sat in a toilet having a panic attack, eating my lunch on the phone to my mum because, you know, someone's just thrown glue at me or someone's just put a bin bag over my head again. And it was constant, it was every day, whether it was name calling or physical, there was always something going on. And at first I didn't actually tell my mum straight away. And it wasn't until my mum and dad started noticing something wasn't up, something wasn't right. I was not acting like me. And one day I just like kind of just came out, and it just in a rage. I was so angry.
So
Because
how long would you say, Olivia, that you held this in without telling your parents?
I held it in for a good couple of months. Like,
Wow.
I mean, look, the first year of school, we were like, look, maybe it's just the first year. Let's just try and get settled in. Like, nothing really major was done. And then I got into year 8, and it was ongoing still. And that's when I was like, again, this is happening. This is happening. It's now getting worse. And it's now getting physical. And they're now following me home from school and things like that. And my mum was like, right, this is a joke. So yeah, it took a while to want to say anything as well, because it's like I didn't want to admit defeat. I didn't want to have to be a problem. You know, I had younger siblings at that time. My brother was in high school, and it was quite upsetting because my brother went through high school, no problems, sailed through, got all his GCSEs, had a big group of friends, played football, loved high school, and got to do prom.
Opposite.
And I just got opposite. I got all of the negative stuff. So I actually ended up dropping out of high school at the start of year 9, because the school decided there was too much red tape to do anything about with the bullies. Basically, it's too much paperwork and too much reporting to want to get rid of the nasty people. So they kind of force the good people out instead. So I left. My mum supported me through that. My dad supported me through that. And I was homeschooled for the rest of my school years. I actually went to college a year early, but regarding my GCSEs, which is I was listening to Claire saying that if I'm correct, she didn't have any.
That's right.
And I can actually relate. I've only got my English, Lit and Lang GCSEs. I've not got maths. I've not got science. I've not got geography, history, nothing. I have nothing apart from my English. And I was always told that, you know, you're gonna not go anywhere if you've not got any education, any GCSEs. And thing is, I'm a very switched on person. I don't need some grade to tell me that I am switched on, and you know, I'm not stupid. And I don't really need a grade to tell me what I'm good at anyway, because you know, didn't you? And I actually applied to go to college a year early, and they accepted me. I went to college in Hitchin, did performing arts, got my level 3 diploma, smashed it out the park. And then thank you very much. And then I left college, and I, you know, took a bit of a back seat, focused on my music. I was with my management at this time, and I actually ended up parting ways with my management in late 2024. I broke up with my long-term partner, and I decided, do you know what? I'm gonna go to Spain, and I went off to Spain for 6 months. And I did what I did best, and that was singing. And you don't need any GCSEs to go to another country and sing. I'll tell you that now.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, I follow you. Don't you worry about that. I follow you. I see you in Spain. So that was last year, right?
Yeah, that's
last
correct.
year?
Yes.
That was last year, right? Now, the little munchkin that we just saw, what's her name?
Her name's Aria.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, little Aria, how old is Aria? About 6, 7?
Yeah, so she's 6.5 months now.
See, I told you.
You're spot on. You're spot on.
I know. About 6, 7 months old. So, when you were in Spain, were you unwell in Spain?
I was extremely unwell. So I obviously, as I said, and I have no problem in sharing this because this is my life. You know, if I'm gonna do what I do, then I've got to be an open book, and it doesn't faze me at all. And I was in Spain, and I'd just broken up with my long-term partner, as I said. And I met my current partner, Mark. He's Scottish, and he had been doing the Spain season for 3 years now. And as soon as I met him, we both said, like, this isn't going to be a thing. Like, we don't want to be in a relationship. He just broke up with his long-term partner as well, and was like, we don't want a relationship, blah blah blah. 3 months in, I find out that I was pregnant. And wow, what a shock. And I found out when I was 18. I'm 19 now. I was 18 at the time. And obviously I was I'm not gonna lie, I was so scared. You know, I'm 18
When you
years
say
old.
what a shock, I can't imagine, but I'm hearing you, and I'm just kind of trying to imagine. Now, I don't know your dad, but I kind of know your mum. So how did you drop that on your mum? How did you drop it? How did you
Do you
drop
know
it?
what? I didn't even worry at all. I was more worried about my dad's reaction, because I think more of a paternal instinct. I think it's a bit, you know, he wants to protect me.
Yes.
Not saying that my mum doesn't, but my mum, she's guided me through everything in life, and there's never been a time where I felt uncomfortable or awkward or God, I can't tell my mum that. It's always been, oh, I can't wait to tell my mum that, or I need to tell my mum that. And that's always been the bond we've had. So I remember I found out, and that it was so faint on the test. I just sent her a picture of this test, and I went, is this real? Like, in a message, I just said, is this real? And I just remember her being like, Olivia, call me now. Like, I just dropped it on her with a picture. So so then I called her and we had a big phone call, and you know, as much as she was excited and I was excited as well, it was also, right, you're young, I want you to think about what you want to do. There's no pressure. You know, and one thing she made very abundantly clear was you can do what you want to do still, as well as having a baby. Don't let these social media like influence you. Don't let people influence you. You can do, if you put your head and your mind to it, you can do what you want to do still, even with a baby, even when you're pregnant. And that's, I think, if I didn't have the support system that I have with my parents, I don't think I would be where I am now at all. No way. So
I think
I
you've done
obviously
an amazing, as in this, for, as I sort of said, I am following you and I do follow you, and just the support. And I've even knocked the door and your mum's like, and yeah, and it was so important. I was so glad you could come on, because you're just talking and just sharing. Show's called Real Talk. You're just sharing part of your journey, and you won't realise it perhaps, but there's nuggets in what you're saying for parents out there,
yeah,
carers out there.
definitely. See, the woman's on here herself. She knows. She knows.
Yeah, and just for, it doesn't matter what it is, for a young person to be able to say, like, I know I can still, is massive.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And just, you know, and just all through, obviously, all what you've gone through and the homeschool, just that support. It's a foundation, because from when I met you back however many years ago, I said, you will, if I'm going to find it somewhere, you will go far if you just remain how you are. And
Yeah,
you
definitely.
are exactly how you were back then.
Thank you.
So honestly, you are amazing.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much.
So you are 19 now, 19, and I don't know, I keep seeing you, hat on, Stetson hat, cowboy boots. What's going on? What's happening?
So I'm now obviously 19 with a 6-month-old, and I am still doing the singing thing. Picked it right back up where I left off. I literally released my first song at my most recent song, God, when I was pregnant, and then I released another one when I had Aria. And then I just straight away, I think it was 6 weeks after I had my little one, I was straight back gigging. You know, up on the stage, singing away, dancing away. And ever since then, I've been doing loads of gigs. I've been in Yorkshire, London, Ipswich, literally everywhere, Suffolk, all over the UK, which is brilliant. Wouldn't change it for the world. I actually have a gig this Saturday in London. And you know, I've got an album coming as well. So many new songs coming. Yeah, I can't wait. And I think a major thing for me at the minute, which I'm trying to push out there so much, and I know my mum will be sat there going, Olivia, plug it, plug it, plug it. But is
That's
my
right.
headline gig. I have my first ever professional headline gig, which is literally just about me and me showcasing my new album. So that's on Friday, the 19th of September. So not long now. So still pushing for ticket sales for that. And I've got merch that's going to be there, like t-shirts and cards and photos and things like that as well. And I've got 2 amazing support acts that are going to be there. So yeah, I'm just trying to push as much as possible for that headline gig. So if you ever want to come and support local talent, that's to everyone watching, everyone listening, then come and support local talent from Luton at Bedford Esquires on Friday the 19th of September.
But it's from but do you know what, when I met you first time I met you, I think you sang, you did sing. I'm sure you went off and just kind of, I don't know whether you've got a little space or what have you in that, you went off and you sang a little bit, and I'm like,
really?
How old is she? 14? No way.
It's mental.
What do you mean? No way. We are not saying that children should not be at school learning. We are saying
Yes.
that, do you know what? It doesn't work for everybody.
Not
It
everybody
doesn't
fits in the
work.
same
Well, this
shape.
exactly. So can you imagine, you know, years on, I'm kind of like, oh, way older, way older. Celebrate his 60th. Let's keep it real deep. 60th earlier on this year. Yep. And way back then and now, has it changed that much? No. You cannot still be teaching the same way and think you've got 30 odd kids or however many kids in a class, 25 kids in a class, and everyone is going to learn the same.
Exactly.
And
It's impossible.
as a teacher or whoever within that, your words, you must understand the words that you say and speak to the children, the impact of those words. When you speak to people my age, younger, and it's like, do you know what happened at school? There's things that were said by whether it be teachers or even, as we're talking here, your peers, the impact that those words have.
Exactly.
A lifelong. Oh, Mum, Perry, if you can, because I know you've got babes in your arms, but I might get Olivia to do it. Can you post a flyer or the details? We've got obviously all your information, your Linktree information going across the screen, Olivia, but the flyer for the event we're talking about on the 19th of September. Plus also you said you got one this weekend, didn't you?
Yes. So I've got one this weekend in London and then my one is on the 19th. So
put the information in the chat and we will get that shared out on our pages. And that's why we say to people, please share, because you just never know who may see this. Remember, because we're online, this is we're on YouTube as well as Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. You just never know who may see this, that, do you know what, rocks up and this just changes your world.
Exactly. You never know who's watching, and that's what my mum's always said to me.
Oh my gosh, you are stunning. I wasn't in Dubai, but I felt like I was in Dubai. I told you I follow you. I know you think I'm making it up.
You got me there, Dee.
And pose. Oh, I got it on a lock. Perry, I need your help.
You always got me.
Oh, I have. If you are doing, I don't know, you might be doing panto, whatever it is that you're doing, and you want to do a plug or whatever, just message me.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
We also do a show every Tuesday lunchtime. It's kind of half hour, 45 minutes. Tuesday lunchtime, so that's during the day. Got Cecile and Nike who host that, and it is about people wanting to share stuff. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, or I don't know, whatever it is, Dee, I think that is what the shows are for. We want people to hear what is going on. So thank you so much. Right, Mummy's coming back.
Yeah, I'm coming now, baby. No, thank you so much, Dee. I really appreciate this.
Your mum, Perry, thank you, darling, so much as well. And good luck, darling. Honestly, as I said before, you just remain as you are and you keep soaring. You're such and such a role model as well. Do you go into schools or anything like that?
I actually used to when I was young, but I went into a few schools, quite a few primary schools and then a few high schools. Before I started college.
I'm not sure. It's your mic.
Since, but
yeah, I can. This is just me, and just obviously from the conversation that we've had, this is real talk. And when you've got things going on in school and you've got teachers saying stuff and it's like, I can't relate to what you're saying to me. You need people that have been through certain things, that life experience, that aren't old.
Exactly.
That get it, that talk their language. And, you know, I'd have you in assemblies. I'd have you just doing.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I honestly would love to, you know, be an advocate, especially for young children, young people. not only just for about mental health and things like that, but also about career path. I think there's so much pressure and such a stigma on children nowadays. Like I can even say about my own sister, she's currently you know, kind of chosen her GCSEs, and the stress that the school system puts on children is absolutely insane.
Is she
All
going into
for, you
year
know,
9?
she's just gone into year 10, so
Oh,
she's
right.
just like, you know,
Okay.
picked her GCSEs and thing, and now she's going to be doing her mocks and stuff. But you know, me and I mean, my mum is the one that's drilled it into me, but I constantly am like, that it's not the end of the world. It doesn't matter nowadays. You don't need all of this, you know, fancy pants GCSEs and things like that. If you get it, then well done, and we're proud of you. But if you don't, well done, we're still
It's
proud
not
of you
the
for
end.
trying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as you try your hardest. And when I say
You
this,
can't
I'm
ask
not
for no
saying
more.
you
Yeah.
exactly. And when I say about, you know, GCSEs and things, we're not saying not to try it all, or, you know, to do things
Of course.
half-assed. No. But what we're saying is to try your best. And if that doesn't work out in your favor, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I
The
think
other
it's an
options.
amazing thing. 100%.
Yeah. We're going to get you. I'm going to get you back on because there's other stuff that I want to go into with you.
Yes,
There's
amazing. I'd
so
love
much.
that.
So thank you once again, darling. All right, and
Thank you
good
so
luck for
much.
Saturday.
You
All
say
right.
bye.
Oh, bye, darling. Bye bye. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Perry.
so much, Dee. Thank you.
No worries, darling. All right. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Where is that producer woman? For those of you that are watching in the wings and thinking, do you remember, Shell,
Yeah, I do remember
when and
that little girl.
it was just yeah. And I was thinking, I'm sure in my head I've got, but I'm thinking like, oh yeah, in my head like 14, 15, yeah, 14, and she was 14.
Yeah, because she was explaining then sort of some of the stuff that she went through, and then actually then being the homeschooled.
Yeah.
And being homeschooled.
Who, you know that little saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Lie, 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 lie.
Well, as you know, I've got a history of that in the family, but yes, yeah. You don't know what's, even if it's behind your keyboard, and you think
Yes.
the person's not reading it or whatever else, they're then thinking about what's being said behind their back and stuff. So yeah, don't realise just how bitchy, for want of a better word, that the kids can be, because the boys are and the girls are as well, and then they just wind each other up with what they say behind.
Navigating now, and do you see what I mean about being a thread? It's not an intentional thread, but it is a thread. And navigating, I can't imagine navigating school now.
No. Yeah,
I really cannot imagine having to navigate school now.
Because you say bullying, and it's not bullying as it was back in my day. I could close the door, and even as much as you then say to people, just switch your phone off, don't get involved with any of the chatter that's going on in the different groups, and there's more groups than parents actually realise.
I think this is the thing also as well, and this is why when I sort of say to, and I'm going to throw it out there now, as in the organisations that are out there, saying to you again, because there's many of you out there, platform. Do we charge to come on this platform, Shell?
No, we don't.
That's where we're going wrong. That is where we're going wrong.
But
because we do
for anyone that's out there at the minute, and where you've got kids that are changing schools and things like that, whether it be that they're going up to college or whether they're going into university even as well, and you are worried, there is a lot that's out there right now on the website Young Minds. They've done 3 different updates recently, both on the website and on Facebook, that are helping parents and professionals, helping guide the young adults, as some of them are, through their next stages. Because it's as much as it's excitable and he's slightly nervous, you then hit a realization at some point, whatever, during all of these different stages that you're going through right now to go on to your next stage, the reality will kick in and something will happen. But yeah, there's lots of information out there, so go look for it. Even if you don't think it's going to affect you, just go and read it. Go and read. It's not going to, as Claire said earlier, just keep learning. Just keep learning. You never know when you're going to need it.
We're always sharing the amount of information that we share. It's not just it's information that we see and like, do you know what? It doesn't matter whether it's an event or whether, as Shelley's sort of saying, you've got organisations out there that there's so much information out there. So much. And when we say share, I'm not interested. It doesn't, but I guarantee somebody you know would be so grateful.
Yeah.
For that information. So please continue to share. We're on Facebook Live now. Obviously, you can catch that at any time. We're also live on YouTube as well. Have I got any guests waiting?
Yes, you have got guests waiting. You've got Jenny.
Just Jenny.
You got Rich Chocolate there as well.
Oh, Rich Chocolate. Jen. I'm finishing with you, Jen. So sit tight, my love. Sit tight. We're going to do Rich, and then we're going to do Tishi, and then we will.
Right. Okay.
So, if you could let that young man on. Dun 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 dun.
You said young.
Did you know I've got a drum kit here?
Who?
Did you know I've got a drum kit?
I can see that.
Rich. Greetings, young man. Greetings. I can't believe I've actually got you on my show.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege. And every time you say young man, I keep looking around me to wonder.
I've got my husband here who's trying to show off himself. He's done a bit of cooking. It doesn't happen often, but he's literally
master chef.
He's just said, when I do it, I'm just master chef. So all I can see is bones, so it must be all right. No, I do mean when I sort of say young man. So this is the show, as you can see at the top there, it's called Real Talk with Simply Deez, which is moi. Started 2018. Used to be in a studio in Luton. Used to go to Pantango studio, and then you know what happened in 2020?
Yep,
COVID. And it's like, what do I do now? Keep it going, keep it moving, and this is it. And obviously, the beauty of this now, because I was getting to ask me how I used to get. I got like Junior, you know, Junior the singer, and Mama used to say, "Take your time."
Yeah.
And he came down to the studio a couple of times. I don't even know how I got these people down. Nobody's getting paid. They come down for like half an hour. They're from London, whereas like now, obviously, COVID just hit. I'm not getting anybody coming anywhere like that for like half an hour to then travel back, and you're not getting expenses or something. So, because we're online, we're global. I don't know who you're going to reach. You've got people from like Malawi saying like, "Hi, I'm watching," and you're thinking like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it's just you know, it's finding, you know, kind of new audiences you kind of didn't necessarily know kind of were around. It's always just adapting to life and what
exactly that. So I must admit. So Shelley, the lady that you've seen like popping on and off, not only does she produce this show, she's also one of the directors in Simply Deez events. So she's a major player. As they say, she's a major player. And back in, I think it was 2015, 2014, probably about 3 years, myself and two gentlemen we ran the Luton Black Film Club.
I know. Yeah. I remember.
What do you mean you remember?
I remember because whilst I may not go to things, I like to keep kind of abreast on what's kind of happening.
I loved it. I loved it. And back then, we had a projector. We'd at the Irish Forum, and we'd project onto that. And the gentleman that had the projector, his work commitments, he lived in London, so we'd do that maybe on a Friday night, and then we moved it to a Saturday. It was monthly, then it was bi-monthly. So we'd screen whatever we were screening, we'd have food, and then after the screening, we'd talk about it.
Yeah.
We'd talk about it. And do you know what? We had, I don't know, maybe 30 plus people. And I can't remember what we screened, and we had like 60 odd. Plus we also screened at Cineworld for about 5 times. We screened at Cineworld, and we screened like Hidden Figures. The same time Cineworld are screening Hidden Figures. And it's a case of we actually got to set up our little station, shall we say, and people going like, hi, Hidden Figures. We're like, you haven't bought it through the film club. You need to go with whoever, wherever. And when you go, can you imagine you're going to Cineworld and all you can see is just a mass. You know, we'd have a screen of like 120 or whatever it was, and this is all this is, and they're just for us, and we could just do our own thing in there. And as soon as we stopped, you know, it's like the thirst became even more. There was some that already had the thirst, and we were kind of filling that. They wanted more of it, but we, you know, everyone's working. You do what you can do, and then as soon as you stop something, people are going like, "Oh my gosh, oh why, oh." I never saw you. You never supported, but now you're crying because we ain't got it. And that's what people do. Yeah. So I kind of just laid a little tiny little foundation there before I introduced. What's your name?
I'm Richard, but you know, most people I go by Rich Chocolate. You know, from my old days of DJing and, you know, kind of spinning tunes. And
no. You got to remember, I don't even know you. So people there thinking like, I know him and I know him. I don't know. So that's why I have the show, so I can find out and let you lot in on the little secrets. Hopefully I'm going to get him to spill.
I am. You'll catch me unawares at some point.
Yeah. Because people say like, oh, I'm coming for an interview. I said, you ain't coming for no interview. I said, we're just having a conversation and a chat. That's all it is, conversation and chat. So, are you local?
I am. So I live in Luton. So I've been in Luton probably about 15 years. Originally from northwest London, you know, Harlesden. Well, Stonebridge Park actually. And yeah, so I you know, kind of moved up here about 15 years ago. Yeah, been kind of here ever since, really.
Okay, so for me to get a little bit more, because when I come to an event, you're busy, you don't have time for chat. So that's why I want you on the show, so I can get the juice and the dirt. So you're one of how many kids? Don't say one of one, please.
So I've got an older sister and older half brother. Yeah, so I'm the youngest. It always feels weird to say you're the youngest when you're, you know, by a year from my.
Okay. So obviously you went to school in London. How was school for you?
School, I guess school for me was. It's something that when I reflected, I kind of think that I just made education kind of at that time wasn't really for me. I kind of struggled kind of academically wise, and you know, there were other things I was good at, but academically it just wasn't kind of the right time. So I think when I left is when I kind of got the bug for learning, like, you know, like many people do. And I know was just talking about that kind of before.
Exactly. I don't plan my guests, it's just whoever ends up, and there's a thread. And the thread is kind of like, because obviously the young people are going back to either whether it be school or whether it be college or possibly even like uni. And I think sometimes when we speak to people or when we see people, there is an assumption. So Olivia, who was just on, left school. Will she have? I think she had one GCSE, maybe one. Claire, who was on before, nothing.
Yeah.
And successful, because everything's, we're told, education, don't get me wrong, but the pressure,
yeah,
the pressure that is on the young people now, that's just that bit. That's not, we're not even talking about social, we ain't even got into social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back in our time now, and what did I come away with? I think I had, because it was CSEs then, wasn't it? I had like 6 CSEs.
Yeah.
No college, 6 CSEs, and that was me, and that was fine. But what you were saying is like school weren't really.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, I guess one of it feels like, you know, because I mean, my day job, my general job is I'm a social worker, so you know, I kind of work with lots of schools and lots of children, and I guess one of the things that still kind of ring true from, you know, kind of me being at school is the idea that schools, they're an environment that have always kind of notoriously been underfunded, and one of the challenges is that with so many young people kind of in a class, it's really difficult to, I guess, to gear learning to the different, you know, kind of the differences within each of those classes. It's, you know, and schools have a notoriously difficult job, and children and young people kind of, you know, have a range of kind of challenges that they have. So it's one of those things that, much like, you know, your last guest was saying, Libby was saying, that the idea is, you know, I try to when I talk to young people, I try to say to them that, you know, that at some point you just kind of really need to redefine what success kind of looks like for you. Often, like you said, I think there's this thing of, well, you know, you're only a success really if you've achieved certain grades, or if you're earning certain money, or if you've got a particular job, if you've got this, if you've got that. When the idea is that actually those things may not necessarily be what success feels like to you.
Exactly.
And so it's definitely something that, yeah, you know, through work, through, you know, kind of just through life generally, I guess I've kind of, you know, I've been fortunate enough that I've had, you know, lots of different experiences that kind of have helped me to realize that actually there are some things that would be maybe great to have, but actually they're not my priority, or they're not where I'm aligned. I'm much more, yeah, I've kind of had to define what success kind of looks like. And it's the same thing that I take into events that, you know, that I put on, that it's, you know, it's easy to sit and think, well, actually, it's only going to be a success if we get this number of people, or we make this amount of money, or, you know, X, Y, and Z kind of happens, when the idea is that actually, you know, you can have all of those things and people come away and they haven't enjoyed themselves, or you haven't enjoyed kind of it, and it hasn't what your expectation is. So yeah, I'm very much an advocate of, you know, education. I think is important, because, you know, not just, you know, you learn a lot literally, it gives you a sense of lots of other things, but not learning or not being able to kind of adapt to that system, or get the grades that, you know, you might need to kind of do other things, much like Olivia said, isn't the end all and be all, because now there are so many different routes to get to where you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Giving them the options. Okay, so you leave school now, and then what? Because you left school, what, 16?
Well, probably 15. Probably 15.
I left school at 15, and I thought it's only people that worked in the mines that left school at 15 back then. Why are you laughing? I'm being serious. And that's how long ago it was, mate. Sorry?
Oliver Twist or something.
Look, I thought we were supposed to be friends.
We are, but quite a long time.
I'm serious. I thought people that worked down the mine, and I left school at 15. Yeah, so you left school, and then what? What was waiting for you?
I think it took me quite a while to find my feet and what I was good at. And I think what I latched onto, I guess I was fortunate enough that I'd found something that I absolutely was in love with, and that was kind of music, not instruments, but you know, buying music and playing music. So I guess I was really fortunate because that allowed me to kind of explore and have lots of different experiences, meet lots of different people, all linked around that love of music. You know, and much like most people, or lots of people, you know, music was a part of my family. You know, I know my mum and my dad used to kind of buy lots of records, and whilst obviously you're a kid, nobody thinks that their parents' record collection is any good. You find you kind of come back to that as you,
In it.
but yeah, you just, I guess I fell into, you know, fortunately, a love of music, and that carried me for quite a number of years. You know, and for me, working was.
So when you say, are you talking about, were you DJing out? Were you, I don't know, what were you doing?
Yeah, so probably, I mean, probably about 18, 19, I probably started sort of DJing. It was me and a school friend of mine. And we just practiced, and, you know, I'd buy lots of music and just, yeah, and we were fortunate enough where, you know, we were willing and young enough, I guess, to take risks on the idea that, not that, you know, you expect to be this famous DJ, but you kind of realize, well, actually, you know, as long as I can, you know, as long as I've kind of got a job, something that will, you know, kind of help to pay for the thing I love, I was quite happy kind of with that. And so I did that for a few years. But then obviously, I mean, as you get older, you then kind of realize that, you know, sometimes what separates you from the people who manage you is often those qualifications. And it kind of, well, you know, okay, maybe there's something in kind of going, and once again, it's also about, you know, I guess I just got to a stage, probably in my mid-20s, where I just kind of thought, well, okay, is this really worth me? Is it worth kind of going into debt for an education? Is something I, you know, could kind of try and see if it fits. And I guess it was just something that, yeah, I was fortunate enough to have something that I love. But then at a pivotal time, it was like, okay, there's a choice. You can kind of continue doing what you're doing and being managed by people who, whilst they're your boss, may not be that bright, not have that common sense, or yeah, and try to at least see whether or not, yeah, you know, you could achieve something in education. So that's kind of what I did, kind of in my mid-20s. I, you know, decided to do a night class for a couple of years.
I miss evening classes. I do.
There's not many there are still some around, but it's definitely not. I get the sense that it's, yeah, that it seems to be a fading trend, maybe.
Okay, so you did all of that, and then dun dun dun. You did that in what, social care, or you done that in what?
Social work. Yeah, in social work. I tried a few different courses, and, you know, I'd love to sit here and say that, you know, I just felt like it was a calling. If I'm honest, I kind of fell into it. It was, at the time, I was doing some mentoring, and often, whilst mentoring, I'd kind of obviously meet young people, social workers, and then I was working for the disability benefits. So when I used to kind of go out and do those assessments, and often, you know, you kind of meet with adult social workers, you know, kind of, and the people that they were supporting, and it just felt, yeah, I kind of felt like there was something kind of lacking sometimes in the things that I would see, and it just felt like, actually, it felt like it was quite a natural fit in some ways. When I think back on it now, if I'm honest, would it be a career I would kind of take up again if I had to make that decision today?
No.
There's probably a part of me, a bigger part of me says, well, you know, there are yeah, because it's a tough gig. It's definitely a tough gig. It has its moments, and it goes back to, I think, what I was saying earlier, that I think you learn along the way. I think, as a social worker, you have to redefine what success and change looks like, because I think when you come into it, there's very much of a you know, and rightly so. There's a desire to want to see huge and significant change. But after a while, you realise that actually that change often does happen, but it doesn't necessarily happen according to the timescales that you think it should. So,
Yeah.
you know, and I bump into some, you know, young people who I was their social worker, kind of now, and they still remember me. You know,
Oh.
very different, but they, you know, they still, and you know, and they'll talk about, you know, and sometimes they'll say to me, "Oh, you know, some of them things that you used to say, oh, you were right." And I'm like, yeah, well, it's a little bit like what we say about our parents, isn't it? It's, you
Yeah,
know,
of course, of course.
our parents are often right, but at the time we just probably don't like their tone. That's probably what it is.
We probably don't like any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of have, you know, you learn along the way, and I definitely learned the idea that, yeah, you once again you have to redefine what change looks like. You have to redefine what success looks like, and you have to put yourself in the position of yeah, the children and the young people that you're kind of working with.
So we're in 2025. So let's even just take it back 10 years. What difference, like in the job, as in even the young people? 10 years. Some people are like, that's not long, but 10 years, plenty.
It's an age. It's an age.
Yeah, but what I mean is, as in that time frame, as in like how things were 10 years ago to how they are now, as in you in your role, and working with the young people, and just
I think, especially working with children, because I work predominantly, well, not predominantly, I think I've worked, apart from my initial 2 years of once I qualified, however many years ago, the first initial years, couple of years were with adults. But then since then, so, you know, I've worked with children probably like 22 years now. And in the last 10 years, I mean, the one thing I say is that the problems and the challenges that people have, just as like in our society in general, don't change. What they might look like might be different, but the essence of kind of what people are managing and dealing with actually doesn't really change, because you still have, you know, you're still working with people experiencing lots of poverty. You know, you're working with people who are experiencing mental health issues, you know, substance misuse issues, and there's not the support or the services that are kind of there to help people, you know, kind of really kind of embed and stay on top of their challenges. You know, you still have the challenge of parents who themselves experienced, you know, either harmful or abusive parenting, you know, kind of then that's that kind of that cycle repeating itself in terms of kind of their children, because, you know, they may not have had the right kind of support when they were children. And so but what our society looks like, I often say, might look very different. You know, because like you talked a little bit about social media has expanded over the last kind of 10, 15, 20 years. But that doesn't necessarily change, you know, it might change how people sometimes interact with the world or their ability to access information, but it doesn't necessarily always address, you know, those fundamental challenges that we just experience as a wider society. So, you know, it may look slightly different to 10 years ago, and I'm doing a very different job than I was then, but it feels the same, you know, and the things that children and parents kind of say feel the same. They're the same things that they would be saying 10 years ago. Yeah. But, you know, we get better. I think, you know, incrementally we get better at being able to support, you know, children, to support families. And we're always reacting to a change in field that seems to shift and change so quickly.
You weren't around at the beginning of the show, Rich, and this is what I say to the viewers, that they need to put on their seatbelts. Why are you laughing? You play it back. You say, "Shit, she did say that, didn't she?" Purely because the show is a roller coaster. 1 minute you're like, I don't know, whatever it is, and you're like crying with laughter, and the next minute it's like, okay, it's serious stuff, and it's just like that, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's the show's real talk, and life is 1 minute you're laughing, next minute you're crying, and next minute you're that's just how it is, isn't it?
It's actually we call life, you know. It's actually we call life.
So you're coming back on again. Let me just say that now, before you kind of like start crying. You're coming back on again because there's so much we ain't going to be able to cover today.
Absolutely.
But I know, because I seen advertised hard. Hard. Very good, by the way. Tell the masses out there, because obviously I started off with like, I used to be part of a film club. Yeah. It's not over, guys. It's not over. Tell them what you're up to now with what you're doing, and
So I say we. The brainchild. One of my brainchilds was wanting to start a film club, kind of in Luton. So I in the background, I had done. I've been sort of doing various screenings probably since about 2017. Predominantly kind of in London, and in the last kind of couple of years, I guess for me it was just I guess it's just an amalgamation of the love of music, the love of art, the love of film. So I started a cinema club called Soul Scene, with the idea being that we showcase sort of black-led, black focused kind of films, black directed films, across really the whole range of our stories. Because we talked about kind of Cineworld, and I'd originally tried to kind of engage and try to work with Cineworld to look at how we could kind of do that, but it was proving really difficult. And over the last kind of couple of years, I realised that
why is that?
Really, I think cinemas are struggling anyway, and I think that their sense was that what they wanted to do was to guarantee a ballpark figure, and so they wanted us to kind of hire the kind of each of the screens, and to guarantee a certain amount. And what we were saying was, well, look, the reality is that what we really want to do is we need to kind of build kind of an audience. We need to build that audience, and we kind of want to work with you in order to be able to do that. And ultimately, I just made the decision that it was too difficult to do that, so to look elsewhere. Because I kind of was aware with Cineworld that one of the challenges was that when you often with Cineworld, especially the one in Luton, what tends to happen is that sort of black films that people would want to see and have some buzz, and they'll either come and they might be there for a week or two, and
if you're lucky,
on a Tuesday kind of evening, one showing. So it was really difficult. And so my idea really was for Soul Scene was the idea that there were so many stories to tell, in a range of different ways. And so Soul Scene, really, the focus is on, cross-genre kind of filmmaking. We look at documentaries, musicals, we talk about dramas, we talk about action. And so we operate, it's once every 2 months. We've had 3, so we started in March, and we've had 3 so far. So our initial screening was The 5 Heartbeats, Robert Townsend's film from like 1989, like a classic. We then had our next screening in May was Brown Sugar, and for July we had Rye Lane. And what we did for our July screening was we made it an audience choice. So there were 4 films that you needed to choose from, and we showed the winner, which was Rye Lane.
That wasn't my choice, everybody. I just wanted to say. So it was. He's not joking. I chose something else, but mine didn't win.
It was just very close for a while. So, and the 4th film them were.
No, but it's good that I like the idea. I like that it was good.
Yeah, because the idea is that, you know, whilst the cinema club is there, and we want it to be sustainable, we want it to become a fixture kind of people's diaries. But the reality is that although it's something that, you know, if myself and an old school friend of mine, Trevor, started. When I say old, I mean that he's a year older than me, so I often need to get that in. But it's the idea that whilst, you know, we kind of founded the club and we started the club, actually the club is for the community that we want to build. And much like you're kind of saying, it's the idea that people can kind of come together and either re-experience or experience for the first time films that they heard about, wanted to see, have already seen, but to do that alongside each other. Because in the world that we live in, it's so easy to stream kind of at home, you know, by yourself, and that whole idea of that collective coming together to kind of, you know, experience film, I think is something that's really, really important. It's the same with
Definitely.
music, you know, it's the same with music. It's the idea that, you know, absolutely you can sit at home with on your, you know, streaming, whichever streaming platform you use, and dance in your kitchen and whatnot. But there's something then about, you know, kind of coming out and listening to DJs or listening to live music with other people, and just sharing that experience. And so that's really where the genesis of it was, really just to kind of collectively come together and say, you know, we have classics, we have past classics, we have present classics, and we have future classics. And there are some films that you know, some that you don't, but we kind of want to come along to experience everything that film kind of has to offer, because they go hand in hand often with the soundtracks and the music that, you know, that come from the films themselves.
So what's coming up? What's coming up?
So our next screening is the 26th of September, and we're showing, I've got it on screen, our it's the Harder Than the Rock documentary. So it's a documentary from last year about the seminal UK reggae group, the Cimarrons, who kind of are described as the first real reggae band in the UK, and it kind of tells a story of the bands that they have supported, you know, the artists that they have, you know, that they've been musicians for, and it really paints that story of this band that feels really obscure and that not many people kind of know who the Cimarrons are, but they would have absolutely have heard the Cimarrons' music, you know, because they support, you know, they were the band that, you know, supported Bob Marley and the Wailers on their first trip to the UK, together with working with, you know, the likes of, you know, Jimmy Cliff and, you know, Winston Reedy came out of the group. He was at one time their lead singer. So they have a real history. And the fact that they're Northwest London kind of cats also kind of doesn't help, you know, because they got their start in Harlesden. So that's kind of our screening on the 26th of September. And in terms of the screening after that is the 14th of November, where we're going to be showing Sinners, obviously the phenomenon from early, obviously this year. And much like what we're planning to do with lots of our screenings, we want people to dress up, you know, to dress up for the speakeasy and to come down, and, you know, we're going to hopefully do some special things, like we'll have, you know, a couple of specialist cocktails, kind of particularly for the night. You know, we want people to really dress up and make it an experience, because that's really what Soul Scene is about. It's the idea that, you know, I'm not sure if you have a similar experience to me, but, you know, when you think about things like outdoor screenings and, you know, retrospectives of films that come, they're often always the same. You know, you can guarantee, you know, there's something like Dirty Dancing, there's Grease, there's Pretty Woman, there's, you know, Shakespeare in Love. There's a whole range of films you can guarantee will kind of be part of that. But very often the films that, you know, black classics don't tend to be featured, if at all. So our idea is that actually, you know, there are classics that we really want people to kind of enjoy and to celebrate. And dressing up, you know, who needs you know, there's always a good reason to dress up.
You know what film I want?
What's that?
I think we screened it as well. The Imitation of Life.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
One of my. You mean it's on the list because I've said it, or it was already on the list?
It's on the list. It's on the list. So, because what we are doing, kind of each of our screenings, we're asking the audience what they want to see, so it can be included in our future screenings. So, like I said, we started in March, and originally we were going until January, but in recent weeks we've just had Hat Factory, because that's where all the events take place, come back to us, and they've given us dates through till January 2027. Which kind of says that it's that they're really interested in helping it to kind of progress and grow, and we want that the same. We want it to be sustainable, but it's not just, we don't want it to be just the films that we think kind of should be shown. We kind of want to include the audience. So, our last screening of our first year is once again going to be another audience.
Chosen.
Yeah. And that's something we plan to do continually, kind of throughout.
Absolutely fabulous. Now, before you go, why have I got it in my head that there's some sort of quiz?
There is. I was just going to come to that. So the other thing that we have, so we're doing alongside Heritage Associates, is we've organised a Black History Month quiz for the 9th of October. And there may be people who are listening who kind of have experienced my soul and R&B quiz that I host. And I know Kerry, I can see her in the chat, kind of so saying hey, to the quizmaster, the one and only quizmaster, as I like to be called. And also, once again, I mean, it's a quiz that there's 5 rounds, and it's a mixture of, we've got TV and film rounds, we've got a music round, there's general trivia round, literature round, so there's a whole range of events, and it's videos, there's music. So that's on the 9th of October at the Hat Factory. And the idea is that you can come as a team with a maximum of 4 players. And a ticket for 4 people, or for a team, is £21.
Is that all?
Yeah, but you can also purchase individual tickets for £8. And I've been really fortunate that people are really kind of engaging and inclusive and really warm and welcoming who come. So we're encouraging people, even if you don't have a team, to come and join a team and make a team with people who are kind of there, because we're very much about kind of recognizing that,
because otherwise then you're thinking like, oh, I'd really love to go, but I'm not in a team, so I can't go. Come.
Absolutely. And people are really warm, and I feel really privileged, the spirit that people kind of come into it with. Because I say, I mean, most people are terrible at the quiz. So, if you feel like you're terrible, that's okay, because you're probably going to be with 3 other people who are terrible as well.
It's just as terrible, if not worse. You can't be as worse as me. So
prizes, so one of the things that when you come and you join, there are prizes for things like best name, best team name. We've got winners t-shirts, we've got medals, so it's we want it to be
proper
experience, for people, and for people to kind of come away not just having learned something, but actually just having had fun. And
if I'm coming to win. Just letting you know, whoever else might be coming on their own, I ain't coming to play, I'm coming to win.
I just say the same thing to everybody.
I'm competitive. Kerry know that. Isn't it, Kerry?
But that just may not happen. But yeah,
it's
just really fun. So we're really, we've been really, really kind of fortunate. And once again, Hat Factory have been really accommodating in terms of kind of allowing us to kind of have it there. And the more, the merrier. And they're really just about having fun. There's not, of course, I'm sure there's bragging rights, because inevitably it does get very, very competitive. I was just going to say that it's very competitive. But, I've not had to have any fines yet.
That's right, Kerry.
It's very competitive. Kerry knows. But it's also, kind of very fun. And I've not had to instigate any fines for cursing of the quizmaster.
You're not?
No. I mean,
there's always a first time for
go out
everything.
the back door, you know. But outside of that, I've been safe. But yeah, so you know, there's a range of kind of events, because you know, my aim whenever I put together an event is really about however many people come, I want people to kind of come away with having had an experience and to feel like it's been worth kind of leaving their house, because it is definitely those things that inevitably now, you know, with the cost of living crisis and just the day-to-day stresses and strains that kind of everybody, you know, that number of people go through, I definitely kind of encourage the idea that sometimes, you know, you might not be able to do something about the worries or the stresses that you have at that time, but what you can also do is realize that, you know, there are still spaces and places that you can go to just relax and unwind and just kind of experience the, you know, the positive vibrations of the people who are around you.
Oh, on that note, positive vibrations. Absolutely love it, Rich. I tell you what, you'd think we sort of like planned all of this, but we ain't. We didn't. Positive vibrations. See, I started on my drum kit, guys. I started on my drum kit.
We planned it. I'll tell people how the sausage is made, you know what I mean? No, thank you so much for giving me the space and the time to talk about it. I feel really, really privileged to have the time.
No, honestly, thank you so much. I'm so pleased. I'm like, I got you. Definitely get you back on again. Probably towards the latter part when, do you know what I mean, other bits and pieces are going on. So, guys, you heard it here. When's the next one? September. Oh, this is in a couple of weeks. Is it next week?
No, it's about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, 26th.
What date? 26. There's so many things going on. 26th of September. Kerry, did you put your Macmillan event in the chat? Just asking. You need to put it in there. So 26th of September is a normal movie night. And then is it the 9th of October is the quiz. That's right.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. It's a quiz. And then obviously, what date is it in? Did you say December or November?
In November. So in November, so the 14th of November, we've got Sinners.
That's it.
And we will. It's the kind of, we're encouraging people to, you know, to dress up, ready for the speakeasy. And you know, I'll put if you want more information, either, you know, you can look at theculturetrust.com, where tickets are available, or you can catch us on Instagram. At Soul Scene Film Club, and the scene is CI.
We'll share your information.
Fabulous. Great.
Hey, Rich, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
I shall do my very best.
And we'll catch up real soon, darling. All right.
You take care. Enjoy.
I will do. Thanks. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Ah, my goodness me. So, guys, here's a producer. I thought she'd fallen asleep. Oh.
I know when the November one is.
Oh, birthday. See?
That's got that one sorted.
Oh, don't you just love? Is Jen still there?
She is, yes.
Jen ain't going nowhere. Jen, sit tight. We're going to bring you on in just one moment. But I'm going to ask the producer, Shelley, because I said to Tishi, I said she's going to give an update. But at the same time, I said I wanted her to just, you know, everyone's got an opinion on things. Everybody wants to know things. She's no different. So we're going to throw some stuff out there to the masses and see what they may know. And I was just even thinking about Claire, actually, font of all, and knowing a load of stuff, may know of something. So, Shell, if I can leave you with Tishi's update, please.
Yeah, Tishi's update's made me hungry. We'll find out in a minute. Hello, everyone. Since the last show, life has been good and busy. I went to Milton Keynes with my dad and Nanny, my carer last month. We shopped and had Nando's. And then, she says, I went to Nando's with my carer for for lunch the week after we went to Milton Keynes. She said, 2 Nando's. Really? Anyway, I went to my granddad's grave to say hi with mum, nana and uncles on the anniversary of his passing. And she's maybe hungry again. My dad and I made some...
Hang on a minute. You're talking about she's been to see me dad. He passed away 16th of August. So you're reading that, and then as you're reading that, it's making me hungry. Which bit?
No.
It's like she's talking about the funeral bit. You're talking about
this is on the anniversary of her passing. Then she says, my dad and I made some rhubarb crumble 2 weeks ago, and it was really yummy. See what I mean? I'm hungry. I want chicken and I want rhubarb and custards.
I've put some rhubarb in, and it's kind of like, apparently you're not supposed to thing it the first. You've got to wait till next year to then. And I'm like, sorry, everybody. That's just me, and sort of like, you'll hear more about me and, Gardener D. Sorry.
I went to my nana's last Thursday, and we had a good catch up and watched wrestling together. This past Saturday, I went to the Luton Bako Festival at Lucy Park Marsh House. I can't remember where that was.
Bako, this is Marsh House, Leagrave Park. Yeah, it's Leagrave Park. Yeah.
And it was good. Here we go. But I honestly think that last year's one was better, just because it was more organised last year. And saying that, we need more than day centres for people with disabilities. And I think there should be more events for people with disabilities with a full capacity to decide what and who they want to live their life to the fullest. And I think that should be groups that allow people with disabilities and able-bodied people to meet each other. Because I feel like some people just see the disability and not the person.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah. And this is then a bit the worrying bit. And I also think that there should be more dating events for people with disabilities, because we all have things that we want in our lives. I do feel
she
like
doesn't say anymore, does she?
No. I do feel like there's too much red tape around certain things when it comes to disabilities, and you have full capacity to decide what you want. So so till the next time, people, stay blessed and keep following your dreams no matter what. I will say that not going from like adults with disabilities so much, but with young adults, it's everything I see always seems to come from children with autism, young adults with autism. And yes, it is needed, but not necessarily physical disabilities. So for the Hat Factory, like we had Rich on a minute ago, the Hat Factory does do once a month a nightclub for young adults with those with disabilities. But you naturally see, and it may be the clubs that go down there, because Fun, who I used to help with, and a couple of the other groups that are like that, will go down there with their children, with the young adults, I should say, sorry. And it's great. They've got the bar that's open, they've got music that's going on, and it's for them. They can mingle, it's for them. But when it comes to then the physical disabilities, you don't get so much. And again, just as Tisha just said, nothing that is just open to everyone. You're a multi-ability group. Whether you have got a fully capable mind and a body that's not working right, or the other way around. There should be something that you are just allowed just to be. Just be. That's all you need. Be something.
Now, that's what I asked Tishy to do, and I said we're going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
And it may be a case of, what did you say? That was at the Hat Factory show.
At the
Hat
Factory. It's called Twist nightclub. I think it's Twist, something like that. Anyway.
Oh, do you know what? I've seen it, but I didn't even read. It's
I
purple,
don't
isn't
realise
it?
what it is.
It's purple, but I've seen Twist, and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even not clicked on it to read it to see what's even.
Yeah, because I have said to like my nephew Aaron, do you want to go down one night? And he's like, nah. Okay then. But he's autistic and he's non-verbal, but he does like dancing around music. I think what it is with him specifically is you don't know kind of what music they're going to play. Because I have been to, seen videos of some of those kind of places, and they'll play kiddie music. It's a little disco.
That's what I mean.
And it's like, we're talking adults. We are talking adults that have got full capacity of their brain. They know exactly what they want.
I'm going to speak to Claire. She may know of something, but this is
especially
out
where
to
we've got
masses out
things
there.
that, yeah, especially where we've got things that close down, because Tisha herself has had her holidays closed down.
Because I know she used to go to, I think it's Chorley End Lane Centre, and what they do there is naff. And so, you know, because it was somewhere to go when she was younger, and like now it's like, I don't need to go to somewhere that's just, it's not happening. So you know, we're not saying we know it all. That's the whole point. So we're throwing it out there because somebody knows somebody who may say this and we'll be like, I didn't even know about that. Oh my gosh. You know, potentially could try it and see how, do you know what I mean, whether it's lights or not, but we don't know of anywhere. Shell's just said about the Hat Factory, but who knows of anywhere else? So if you're a venue and you have something, or maybe you're a venue and maybe you're thinking like, well, do you know what? Might do something once every other month. Hey.
Yeah. And even down to the point where the local cinemas, and they all do it now. It used to be one particular chain of cinemas, but they will do a relaxed screening. And it's for those with autism or sensory issues that a film won't have all the adverts at the beginning. The house lights won't go all the way down, and like the baseline is the bass is not as deep, so it's not as loud, and you can take your own food in, because with anyone that knows with anyone with autism, they can be quite funny about what they can and can't have, whether that's a dietary thing or whether it's just their taste buds. But you've also got these film screenings are all kiddie films. They don't even go up to like a 15. It is all PD and below, which Aaron now, thankfully, touch words, he's not going to turn, he's fine going into a normal TV screening, a normal film screening. But even the last time that we went, he said really quite loudly, and I was thinking exactly the same thing. Two things he said. One, boring adverts. Yep, loads of boring adverts. I'm not used to this. And two, it's really loud. I'm sat there going, oh my word. But yeah, why did you then say that you need a relaxed screening, that it's suddenly it's children? Yeah.
See, these are the kind of things that, as organisations or whatever they are, companies, don't get challenged, get away with it. No, it's not good enough.
Yeah, and it's
not good enough.
It's well-meaning people that want to do it. And sometimes it's just a tick box.
Look, that's it. Real talk there from Tishy.
Well, when she says date, RTD didn't want to understand those. She doesn't want to go there.
My head hurts. Tishy Thomas, get off the screen. That's a whole nother show. Now, before I lose my last guest, she decides to disappear, because this was only today, and it just kind of, it just nips in very, very nicely. Is our Jenny in the house? 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 Is our Jenny in the... Why you look like you're in bed?
I'm here. I am. That's I am. Yeah. Easy question. Easy question, easy answer. I am.
Well, I thought you were kind of like, because I know. Yeah. Crazy. Thank you so much for being so patient and
that's all right.
waiting.
It's interesting listening to other people. So interesting
And
listening to
I want to,
the lady singing.
Yeah, Olivia, there's a whole, she went through a very awful time. Yeah, an awful time. But yeah, so there's a thread that wasn't an intentional thread, and then I'm like, that Jenny Lyons, that Jenny Lyons in the house. So Jenny, there's so much. I'm going to talk about some other stuff another time, but today, if you will, we have young people starting to go back to school, starting to go back to college, uni, or God knows whatever else. And do you help older people as well, or is it just young people?
I help everybody, younger people, older people, because you've got people from 16 who want to be working, and obviously we have people working. The official pension age has been increased, so there are people having to work up until they're 67 at the moment, and there are people over 67 who are looking still to work because their pension is not enough to live on, and they still feel that they want to work. Plus, there are people who could live on their pension but still feel that they want to still go to work because they don't want to sit at home and watch Loose Women. Do you know what I mean? So there are people who have been in their jobs for a long time and like it and want to continue. And quite rightly, companies are thinking, why would I want to get rid of somebody if that job still needs to be done? I've got somebody still doing it to a good standard.
Yep.
So, you know, and the downside of that means there are less jobs for young people because people aren't leaving jobs. So, and that's one of the key reasons why there aren't enough jobs for young people. So, you know.
See, I'm going to stop you for just a moment. Now, all I hear on the news is there's so many people out of work, unemployment's raised, gone up, dot. I never hear them say there are 200,000 jobs out there.
You see, there are loads of jobs out there. There are loads of jobs out there, but the thing is, you know, when you actually look at the vacancies and look at the workforce, they don't tally. You know, they don't. You know, in some areas there's a skills deficit. In some areas, you've got people who have got vacancies, but they want to take on people on a 10-hour-a-week contract, and there may or may not be overtime. And for most people of a working age who've got a standard amount of debt, you can't be working on a may or may not be working basis. You need to have permanent stability, and that means a salary. That means your 37.5-hour-a-week contract. And there are loads of jobs like that. And that's a problem. You've got a massive load of vacancies within the care sector, and people don't want to work in care. So and the sheer number of vacancies in the care sector will show up as there's loads of jobs, because there are technically loads of jobs, and there are people who don't want to do care, and for a good reason, because they're not the right person to do care. It's like a lot of people who don't want to do retail could turn their hand to retail if necessary, but care is not a job you turn your hand to. You either care or you don't. You have to have that ability, the patience, the empathy. Working in care involves long hours, rubbish pay, and you're not necessarily treated nice by your management, by the patients and the patient's relatives. It's a very tough job to get people to stay in it and maintain motivation. And that's a problem. You've got loads of people who are not working because they're off sick with physical illnesses, mental illnesses. There's a lot of people. And so, there are issues, and there are a lot of people, and within that, there are a lot of jobs that don't exist anymore. Technology, AI's taken some, but general automation of basic jobs. And over time, people become more efficient. You don't need to have an employee paid to do a certain task. Tasks disappear, so jobs disappear. You don't have Saturday jobs for young people anymore. So there are a lot of people missing out on getting into work. It's hard for graduates to get into elementary jobs. The jobs are there, but you've just got more people contending for them. And, it's really, really hard out there, but not impossible. You have to think outside the box, and you have to be flexible in what you're prepared to do.
I hope you masses out there are listening to this. Jenny's not just on this show she's not on this show for her looks, right? She's not on the show for fun.
Really? Hang on a minute. I thought the message
Harlem
said,
pull up.
No, I thought you said we need more good-looking people on the show, Jen.
No, I said we need people like myself, not just under the radar. We're under the radar, girl. We're under the radar.
I thought you needed cute people on. That's why I'm here. I can be.
Cutie.
Yeah. People relaxing in them.
So for the young people now, young people and older people, because you said everybody really, but for those that, I don't know, they've got their GCSE results and thinking it's all doom gloom, and because the parents don't understand, have got no idea of what's going on, how things have changed.
Look,
what are you offering? What do you offer people?
Here's the problem with this whole thing now. People have got to get everything into perspective. You do your GCSEs, you're about 16, yeah? The pension age is currently 67. By the time these 16-year-olds retire, the pension age will be 75 probably, yeah? There is no real reason why at 16 you should be able to cross your heart, hope to die, you know what you want to do in the future. You're 16, for God's sake. You don't know whether or not you like peas or carrots, let alone what you want to do for a job. Do you know what I mean? It's just too much pressure. I would say...
It's so true, isn't it? It's madness.
And you see...
What do you mean you don't know? I don't know.
You have some people, there are some people who from a young age have looked at something and said, you know what, that's me. I want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when you have that knowledge, you can roll with that and say, this is what I need to do to get where I want to be in that field. If you want to be a vet, you would have been told, A, it's really hard to do. B, you're going to have to work hard and try not to get anything less than an A in anything you touch. And so people who want to be a vet, they'll be coming out of school with A stars and everything. They'll go and do 4 A levels, A star. They'll go into a top uni because they know that is what they have to do to get where they want to be. You want to go into medicine, you know you've got to be an A student and you know what they're looking for. You know, the vast majority of people don't actually know what they want to do. They may know the brand of mascara they want to buy. They know they want a pair of Jordan Super Disc that's £350 just for 1 foot, let alone a pair. They don't actually, it's true though, but they don't actually know what job is going to get them there. But that's okay. I would always just say, don't worry about having a definitive job title. Finishing high school, secondary school is a must. Yeah. And we have to recognize the educational system does not have equal outcomes for students, regardless of how hard they try. Some people are more vocational, less academic. Some people go through crisis, trauma from home, bullying, anxiety. It's not a level playing field, and that can affect how people are at school. People need to think about, although the GCSEs are a pivotal stage of measuring people, it's an automated tool that takes a snapshot of you and your peers at that given time. It's not about your self-worth. It's just about a snapshot based at when you're at high school. Regardless of how well or how badly you do, it's not all over. If you feel you want to do something that is dependent on GCSEs, then yes, you can reset, but you don't have to. There's more than one route to lots of other careers. Obviously, if you want to be doing, like what I said earlier, your veterinary science, law, those kind of things, yes, they are dependent heavily on grades, GCSEs and your A-levels, but not all jobs are. And if you don't know what job you want to do, the key thing is stay in education. Don't worry about what job you want to do. Go with what you enjoy. If you like cooking, you can study catering. If you like sport, do sport. If you're interested in making stuff, go and look out for courses where you make stuff. If you don't know, it doesn't have to be about getting a job education. It's about growing yourself as a person. It will all come out in the wash as long as you're doing something. That is the key thing. And parents need to kind of stop demanding of children that they must have an idea. Yeah. And with good parenting, if you've ever listened to your child and ever looked at your child, you will know what they're passionate about, what they're good at, what they really love, and you'll see your child flourish. Help them look for opportunities in things that lift their spirits. And once they're doing something that they enjoy, you can say, look, something like your English and maths, if you didn't get your grades A to C or 4 to 9, whatever they are scored now in GCSE, don't have a nervous breakdown over it. You can retake them. If it's not vital for you to get your GCSEs, like to go to uni, for example, if you want to study science, then you can have a breath and then you can do functional English and maths, which for people who hated maths in particular, it's not so much easier, it's a different way of looking at maths, and people find it easier to retain and more enjoyable to study. So there's more than one route.
This is only not Saturday, gone the Saturday before, so 2 weeks ago. So I'm a postwoman now, you know that. So gone knocked the door of this house, and the woman wasn't there. Her son answered and said hi, gave him the, parcel, and he said, "Thank you so much. Have a really great day." And I'm like, wow, he made my day. He made my day. Young people ain't giving you all that information. Have a great day and just really nice. Anyway, I had to go back again for something else, another day, another parcel. And I said to the mum how great he was and how you've done a great job. Do you know what I mean? Very manageable, all of that jazz. Gone again another day to deliver a parcel. She wasn't there. So we're having a chat. So I said, "Bet you can't wait to go back to school." I said, "What does that mean?" "I don't like school." I said, "Okay, because do you know what? Not all of them are going to like school, right?" I said, "Okay." So I said, "How are you getting on at school?" He said, "Really good." I said, "Okay." But he said, "I hate it." "What do you like?" "I enjoy music, play musical instrument, blah, blah, blah." And we're having this conversation. Mum comes along now, so we're chatting, and I said he hates school, doesn't he? And she's like, no, he doesn't. He's just told me he hates school. She goes, he's doing really well at school. I said, I know, because he said he's doing really well at school. But I said he hates it. And she like looked at him. He goes, I hate school, Mum. And she's like, you've never told me that. So he's going into year 10.
Mm.
So the point I'm just trying to make is that as parents, why has he not told her that?
Yeah, it's all about environment. And if you have an environment where your child thinks they will be heard and if they will be understood. And
I felt away there, because I'm thinking like, she knows he don't like school, but he's doing well. But so that way then, do you know what I mean? It's just balancing or whatever, just to ensure that he keeps that. Because like come year 10 now and 11, this is where the real stuff starts happening, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it's education is rolled out to the masses, and it's always going to be difficult size of classes to have a model that benefits all children, like that gentleman was saying earlier, because it's not going to have everybody benefiting. And then when you narrow it down, the individual teachers for each subject will have an impact on people's lives.
Yes.
And whether or not you like that subject, because a lot of people hated maths because of the teachers.
Yes.
It wasn't actually the subject. People hated physics because they hated that guy.
Yep.
You know, it's so many, and when you actually look at what's going on in the biology of children at those ages, it doesn't take a lot to put people off. And you won't get it back. You won't get it back. I think a lot of it is environment, home environment, concept of what education actually is. And a lot of people think that the whole point of education is going to be that nutmeg that is high school. There's lots of education going on outside when you're at home. All sorts of things you do, it's all part of your education. And encouraging people to understand that the state has a mandate about what we're learning and how up to that point. But when you come out of school, you have more choice. You have more choice. And it's okay for you to say, I don't really know about that, but I'm going to see what this does for me. And it's okay to study things and say, I got through that, but I don't want to study it anymore. But I took some things from it. You don't have to have everything all in a kind of neat relation, you know? I do work with people who have studied a whole mirage of things, like people who've done nail tech, car mechanics, foot care, and they do mini courses on things all the time, and they've done lots of different jobs. And these are some of the happiest people I've ever met. You know, they've learned all sorts of things. And they've learned Italian, you know what I mean? If people have learned all sorts of things because they just thought, that looks interesting, let me give it a go. And it's better than sitting down and not doing anything.
So do you do anything in schools at all?
I don't actually currently do anything in schools. What I do, but what I do is parents pay me to work with their children, usually from age 17 above, to help them get into work, help applying for uni, all sorts of things like that. People finish, and they're 18-year-olds, when they finish their A-levels and they've decided not to go to uni, they want to try and get into work, try and get into an apprenticeship, which is so difficult getting into an apprenticeship. And I do a lot of work with people trying to improve their interview skills, find apprenticeships. They're on board with that. So I've got quite a good rate of getting people into apprenticeships and getting into jobs, but it is tough out there. And, you know, how we raise children are different, because a lot of young people can't speak properly. and that's one of their downfalls. And I have to tell them sometimes, you're going to struggle in an interview because you don't speak properly, but you just don't know that you don't speak properly.
They speak as they talk, as they...
I said, look, you need to imagine that I'm a grown woman and you respect me. So when I ask you a question, you need to be able to answer it in a sentence in English. Not like that, baby, yeah, no, like that, no, like. No. I said, you have to learn how to speak to people, not your mates. You've got to learn how to make a sentence. You've got to learn to make an account of yourself. And, you know, I have to kind of beat people into submission to try and get them through interviews. Thinking, you've got great skills, but you can't speak properly. You won't make it through an interview. It won't be enough, because no one's going to want to put you in front of a client speaking like that. You've actually got to have some pride. And I blame a lot of parents for that, because I don't think they have conversations with their children. They don't pick up their children enough, or no, don't talk like that. Yeah. And it lets a lot of people down. Lets a lot of people down that speak properly.
So that's one of the top things. What else would you say is kind of like something that we as parents, carers, grandparents, whatever, could help with?
You need to be dangerous and actually listen to children.
Oh, tell them that all the time.
Because often they're trying to tell you something, or often they're trying to coerce you to ask them something. Yeah, and they're giving you clues that they want to talk about something. You have to listen to children, and you have to be willing to talk about things that make you uncomfortable. You have to come away with, but it says in the Bible that you know, you got. I've been born and raised a Christian. I will die a Christian. Yeah. At the same time, I recognize that when the Bible was written, we didn't have electricity. We didn't have sliced bread. The world has changed. We didn't have air fryers in the days of Noah. Life has changed. We cannot say to children in the midst of a crisis, but it says in the Bible X, Y, Z, because that's not parenting, because it's not dealing with real day-to-day life. It's not about coming away from your beliefs, but how you use your beliefs when you're dealing with children is something completely different. And one of the problems that we have is we have ignorant people trying to tell children what is right and what is wrong, how to do things in a modern society where the parents refuse to recognize that things are different. And so you have a culture where children won't want to tell you their fears because they know you're not going to even try to understand, because no one ever said it, so it's not real. And children need support. Children need the right level of discipline, consistency. Young people have to be celebrated when they're doing great stuff, because we always hear about crap things happening, what young people do, but we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't hear about young people doing things that are just really sweet and lovely. It's just the negative stuff. And I understand why young people think we hate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, you see young people not working, and I deal with a lot of young people doing like 50 job applications a week, and they're not even hearing back anything from anybody. And it's hard on the soul. It's tough out there for young people. Social media, there's you know, relationships, you know, poverty. There's loads of things on the backs of young people trying to navigate. And what parents need to do, and the wider community, you need to make people understand that there's a world out there that they can be part of and take pleasure in basic things, not just all the expensive stuff. And give them encouragement. And people need to use their networks to try and get opportunities for younger people. And we're not very good at that. people generally, it's not British to network, where it's very American to network. They don't even call it networking. They're used to swapping details, asking people what they do.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. It may be useful. And people who hardly know each other swap details. We find that crass and un-British. You know, and what we need to do is get a balance between the two.
Yeah.
I always say to people, the minute they start working, they build their network. Who they're working with, what do people do, find out what everybody does in the company, leave a positive impression on everything that you do, all interactions with you. People must want to know your name and think you're amazing, and take that with you. Get connections, and with everybody in your circuit, friends, family, make people want to find opportunities for you. And now, where young people can't get work, where people are trying to get internships, it's all about people that you know. We have to build networks, and we have to invest in our own development, but you have to be self-motivated. And you've got to be flexible enough to go out of your comfort zone. That's what you need to do, particularly when you don't know what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
You know,
you're going to know unless you try.
Yeah, and listen and have adventures. Thinking, I don't know anything about that, but let me give it a go, see what it's like. And not be scared to be an individual. If you're doing something that nobody else knows, understands, likes, if you're liking it, go with it. People don't have to approve of your choice. And that can be very difficult in a lot of families and in a lot of cultures. But, you know, looking outside the box and how long we're likely to live and likely to work, we owe it to ourselves to pursue what gives us personal satisfaction. And it's not just about money.
No.
It's not just about money.
At all.
And often people study things for money, but then the bottom comes out of that sector. And you've got to try something else. I would say to people now, if you wanted to get into a career where there's longevity, I'd go into construction. Because there are so many parts of construction that AI can't take from you. It's got to physically be done. And there is a shortage of people in construction in this country. And to do all the building that they want to do, and just in this part of the country, just in our part of the country, in Luton, Bedfordshire, you know, the amount of building work we're going to have. If you think about all the construction that's going to go on when Luton finally has its own stadium, that's going to generate construction work.
Yeah.
And then when we get our second runway, the other side of Luton, that's going to create loads of construction. When they build that Universal Studios just outside Bedford, that's going to take loads and loads of construction. And that none of that includes the construction need for the nation's house building projects they want to push through. There aren't enough people in the country skilled in construction to do that work. So I would say if you're thinking about a career, I mean, no such thing as a job for life now, obviously. But if you're looking for a career with longevity, I would say look at construction. And that does not mean women are counted out. Because when I say construction, there's loads of work in construction. It's not all physical. You've got the quantity surveying and the surveying side. You've got more and more women going into that part. And in terms of the physical part, you've got more women doing joinery and carpentry, which are the lighter physical sides of construction. And a lot of women have good eye for detail. So joinery and carpentry, perfect. Well paid jobs. And, you know, most people who are good, a really good joiner, will never have to advertise and will always be working, and they'll earn more than a doctor, because good joiners earn a lot of money. So I would say consider construction and look at all the options within that. Electrical installation, because electricians are in short supply. Short supply. And those like apprenticeships are really highly contested.
Okay. My gosh, Jenny, there's so much, so much. We have got, I know we've got your information that we will be sharing on this page. So people can contact you, ask any questions. That is what the show is for. And when we say share, because you just never know, it might not be something for you, but then you've shared it and your friend's like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. That's just what my friend at work needs. Do you know what I mean? That's how it goes, isn't it? And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So much information there, Jen.
Just to make people aware of what I actually do. I am an independent employability consultant. I've got my own consultancy. I make it sound posh, but I'm the only one in it, by the way. Personal service. And I help people get into work, starting their careers, changing careers, trying to get a promotion, and help people try and get onto internships, apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships. I do things like CVs and cover letters, supporting statements, interview preparation, career consulting, job searching, an emotional shake. Come on, get a grip. Whatever is needed, that's what I do, all with a smile. Follow me on TikTok. Yeah, follow me on TikTok, leaving daily jewels and nuggets of information.
Are you doing, very quickly, are you doing an event in October?
We've got a Windrush event in October, on the 4th of October.
Is it the 4th?
Yeah, of October, so Saturday. Yeah, the Windrush event. And I will, in the next few weeks, come on to your Tuesday lunchtime show.
Oh, see what I mean? It works, Shelley. It works.
If you'll have me, because usually
of course I will.
I go on there just to
promote.
Give a bit of information about the theme for this year. And happy to come and talk about all sorts. I love a natter. You know what I mean? I love a good natter.
That's what the show's there for. So that'll be absolutely fine. Just give enough notice so that make sure I haven't got too many guests on that day, and then we can we can book you in. So that'll be fine.
Yeah. It's good to see you there, Shelley. Good to see you're still fighting for the community.
Creating mischief. Yeah, right. We are out of time. It's 10 past 11 minutes past 10. Oh, I'm 10 past 11.
What are you looking at?
Should be sleeping. I don't know. I'm hungry now. That's what it is. Hunger. Jen, you are a diamond. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you. What a fun of so much information there. So much information. It's not all. So for parents or anyone out there that's thinking like, Jenny is the one.
Yeah, the key thing is don't panic. Give people room. And we're no longer employers are no longer thinking about, we want people who've been in the same job for 20 years. We're looking for people who are loyal. No, it's a whole different world of recruitment now. You know, people still want personalities, people with drive. You have to back yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And you know, that comes by taking risks, doing stuff, and doing things with passion. Doing things half-heartedly because your mum says he's not going to help you.
He's not going to be the one. Yeah.
And the key thing to remember is the 16-year-olds now are likely to be working till they're 70, and you need to think about, do you want to spend the rest of your life doing something you don't like?
Nah.
You've got time to try, start again. Try, start again. And if you know where to look, there's so much opportunity out there to find out about careers. That's why networking is so important. Get to know people, meet people from different sectors and fields and whatever. Put yourself out there, but don't believe you have to make that decision now. You just do what you have to for now. So if you're still at school, you're going into 2 years, you're going to do your GCSEs. Obviously, you do your best. You do your best. Not everybody's going to be an A star, and that's okay. You just do your best. And then when you get your results, you take, go out there, have a giant Snickers and a bag of popcorn, is that just me? And then and
nuts and raisins, I'll show you.
Yeah, a bottle of Stone's ginger wine. I see you. I remember you. Yes. Yeah. And Shelley's going, yeah. But what you do, you just decide what is out there, what can I do? But the key thing, you want to encourage the youngsters to stay in education till 19. But don't fear that education means stuck behind a desk doing things you don't like. Yeah, there's loads of options. But, the key thing is grades don't define you as a person. It's just a snapshot. It's just a snapshot of a moment in time where you and your peers were put through the same sieve. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's a snapshot of you, and it's a snapshot of the school, just to prove that they've actually taught you.
Yeah, they've done their legal requirement. You do it, and then you start making decisions about what you want to do next. If you want to resit it, fine. If you don't, and there's no such thing as a wrong decision. You make the right decision for you then. And then if you later think you need to study that, you go. Mm-hmm. If you're too traumatized, take a break, come back to doing English and maths, but do it functional. You pass that, it's the same equivalent as getting a GCSE 4 to 9. So don't think, oh my God, I'm dumb, I didn't pass, or just don't worry about that. That's my key piece of information.
See, I always use my husband's thing for this, that when we did GCSEs, we were in different schools, I didn't know him then, but he was never any good at maths, couldn't get it, wasn't interested, it didn't excite him. He followed along the same as his brother and did electrics. And the first week of college, when he was then sitting down doing electrics, and he worked out what he had been learning and what you do when you're in electrics, that like 1 + 1 = whatever, and then the light turns on, he was like, I get it, and got maths perfect. It's just that at school it was like, why am I learning this? It's not going in. I'm not bothered.
Not relevant,
What have I got to? Put it in a different context. Completely got it.
Yeah.
Completely got it.
So it's not all lost, and for parents, it's all about building an environment where your child will actually talk to you, and you have to do that, and be prepared to have conversations that make you uncomfortable. And
that's kind of what I said with the post thing.
And look beyond how you have been raised and what your mum said to you, because you cannot say, I have to do it this way because that's what my mum did or whatever. You have to be able to listen, and it's not about leaving your faith. It's about understanding that things are different. You can't make them the same because they're just not. And your inability to do anything different is going to cause more harm than good. And it's not a failing as a parent. You're not failing your faith, but you're failing your child if you can't get yourself there. And that is the thing. Your child isn't failing you. You are failing your child. That's what it is.
Oi. Jenny,
you wait till I set up my podcast. What?
Go.
Look forward to that. Mic drop. Plenty. Oh my gosh. Only due to time constraints, And the fact that I'm probably going to nod off any second now.
I need to. I've got work to do. I've got to do stuff. Yeah. So. I've got work to do. I've got a supporting statement and 2 CVs to knock out tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, exactly that. You're going to knock them out the park, love. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Don't forget to message us and let us know when you want to go on the Simply Together show.
Yeah. Will do.
All right.
And it's been lovely to see you both. Love to see you grinning and smiling like a Cheshire cat, Shelley. You're always
and I'm drinking water. I don't know where my ginger wine is today. I finished it. I ain't got none.
Shelley's always smiling like she knows something that nobody else does.
She generally does.
I
think I'm high on sugar.
Yeah, I am fat anyway. But yeah.
All right,
catch up with you soon. Bye, Shelley. Say hi to Tisha for me.
I will do, darling. I will do. Take care. All right, bye-bye. She's probably in the chat. Oh, she's gone to bed now.
Yeah, you might be. Yeah. Bye.
Oh, wow. I did say put the seatbelt on, didn't I?
Yeah, just about.
I know. I was probably about 20 minutes in or so. My brain can't even think. That was so much. I think Richie's messaged me and said he's watched. It's probably his bit back, and he said like
watching a bit of it.
Yeah. Which I will do sometime tomorrow. Information. And then, as I sort of said about the thread, it wasn't intentional, but yeah, that and just right. It's 10:20. Monday, the 29th of September.
Yes.
Embrace a new joint project partnership with Menopause Alliance, Bedford and Luton, Anita Powell. So Embrace Luton Women's Wellness Support Group. Bit of a mouthful. Don't worry, we're going to look for is it anagram? Whatever it is, we're going to get one of them, don't worry. 6:30 to 8:30, Luton Irish Forum. Details and information is out there already. There was, because I've just seen an email, so there is now 11 spaces remaining. If you do not, it's not a case of you rock up and hey presto, it doesn't work like that. You need to drop us an email and we will confirm, obviously, if there's availability and confirm your registration. I can't even put into words what it is, but I need it. So I'm keeping it real. The show's called Real Talk. So when we do stuff, everyone's like, oh, you guys do. I'm telling you now. And it's for me. And it's for us. You know, we don't know it all, and we're not pretending we know it all. If we can do things, put things together where we can share information, we learn from each other. Yeah. Don't say. Information will be coming out about International Men's, working on that in the background, working on that one in the background. That's it. I've said enough. As tired. Yeah, I'll just tell you before I pass over to Shelley, just one thing. Remember, as I said, post email. So in the last month, so many things have happened, but I'm only picking one. The other ones are a bit too, I don't know whether I'm going to share them quite yet. But anyway, so I'm walking up the pathway When I say up, it's the steep pathway, and it's got, you know, the stones, pebble stones and that. So anyway, I walked up, pushed the letters in the letterbox and that. Great, fine. This one was all hot and that. Anyway, like coming down, don't ask me what happened. All I know is like I can just feel myself just gravitating to the wall. Not intentionally. So, you know, when you try and save yourself, you probably look far worse than if you'd have just fallen.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm trying all of this. And then all I know is the letters just went everywhere because I had a bundle in my hand, and I went into the front wall, and it's healing now. You probably can't see it's healing now, but it took a little chunk out of my wrist there. Now, what's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do?
But when you've hurt yourself?
Yeah, when the situation arises. Huh?
After the air turns blue?
First thing you do is you look to see if they've got Rindle.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's the very first thing you do. So when you see that they do, you know they're going to have it, don't you? They do. You kind of like, this is me. Because obviously I scream, I've gone into the wall, the letters gone everywhere. So as I'm picking up the letters, this is me. I'm like, so that's probably on YouTube, making them a whole heap of money out of me and my misfortune. And they have, I tell you what, and as I walked along, all I know was it was killing me, but I was going like, oh, what? I knew it. They had to have a ring door. What were the chances? Yes, they're there and go like. So if they asked me to do that route in that house again, I ain't doing it.
Oh, God.
You guys know who, I'm only kidding. You guys know who you are. Let me see the video clip. Oh, geez. That's one. Stay tuned for next month when I'll tell you what else happened, but I can't tell you both things because you'll be going like, Jesus Christ, really? And I'll be like, and this is me ratted when it happened. I didn't even say rat, I said ratted. Shell understands. You guys might not. Shell understands. So I'm going to hand over to Shelley to finish the show. When I tell you, you will literally that dropped off.
Oh, she's knocked herself out as well. Yeah, I don't know whether she's coming back or not. She has literally thrown herself out of the studio. Well, she's not come back yet, so I think she broke her phone. Well, thanks for everyone that's watching. Thanks for everyone that, oh, there she goes.
Hungry, guys. This is what happens when I'm starving. Do you know what? I came home today and I go to Lloyd, I'm hungry. And I had dinner. Do you know what time I had my dinner? 3:30. 3:30. My stomach, my whole being is saying like, oh,
what happened?
Yeah, now that I think about it, it wasn't one of my cleverer moves because normally I'm literally eating my dinner just before I come on. It's like, Shells, what is? I'm like, I'm just finished off my dinner.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. Yeah, I'm thinking, why am I so hungry? But I'm like, yeah, 3:30, 10:30. Yeah, you're kind of finishing it off, kind of. Thank you so much. Yes. Who do we have? Claire. Oh my gosh, the amazing Claire Cobblestone. And then we had Olivia Lynn. La la la. Olivia. Tishy Thomas in the house. Rich chocolate. And obviously Jenny Lyons, and obviously producer in the house. Over to her, Shelley Titmus.
I don't know what I was before when you crashed yourself out of the studio completely.
So I said, if I touch anything on my phone, it just goes. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Just again, thanks everyone for watching. Please do share because there was quite a lot of stuff tonight that could actually just come up without actually like in conversation and stuff.
Yeah. There's
so much information that's out there. So much stuff that's going on around us locally, if not like a little bit further afield. If there's anything that's going on, let us know. share on all our pages, come on one of our shows. We've got our lunchtime show, we've got Deez show. Sharing is the biggest thing that we could actually now do as a community. That's something that never gets done now. Things just don't happen.
People are like, I didn't know.
On the lunchtime, yeah, saying on the lunchtime show, you don't have like your community where you could just, everyone was given squash when it was hot. You know, playing out on the street, everyone knows one another. You haven't got that kind of community anymore. So we've got to find different ways of keeping that community, keeping that village, and looking after one another. All it could be is just a one simple hello. I mean, Jenny was saying earlier that I'm always smiling. I don't always feel like smiling, but when I'm in particular situations, I will smile, because I know what it feels like to not just to have someone smiling and being interactive with you can make a huge difference. You don't realise just how much of a difference that can make to someone. So if you're just walking down the street, it's just a hello, good morning, whatever. You get it a lot with dog walkers. People walk out with me and they kind of like, oh, you do say hello to everyone, don't you? And it's like, well, yeah. Well, it is a morning, smile. Don't even have to say anything sometimes. Just a smile as you go past. Show that you've seen someone. You know that someone's there. And just be that person to anyone that's around you. So, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, sharing. That's what we need.
So, on that note, my throat is cut. That 20, oh my gosh, half past. Got to see if I can have any apple crumble. Yeah.
So after we talked about Tishy earlier, but there are 2 Nando's and a rhubarb crumble, and now you're saying about your crumble. I'm gonna have to go in the cupboards now and go and have a good root round. Yeah, especially as Great British Bake Off was on tonight, and I was gonna watch my recording after we finished. So I'm definitely gonna need to raid the cupboards for something now.
Oh, excellent. So don't forget, guys, exactly what she said. Shell said, share, and we will see you. We don't see you on the 29th. We will see you on the, I believe it's the 7th of October, actually. I think it's the 7th of October. Wow. No, it sounds far, but it's not. So much is happening.
It's going too fast.
I know, it is. Put the brakes on. Oh, a bit late. All right, yeah. Right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye.